All right, hi, hello. I thought it'd be a cool idea to go over all the different video games that I have played in the year 2022 while also visiting as many worlds as I can that are respective of those games that I played this year in VRChat. And since we are here in VRChat, I'm going to go ahead and start. This is my home world. This place is pretty cool. Um, I've been playing VR chat now for quite a long time. Like since October of 2020, I've done my whole story, my whole spiel about VR chat from back then. And this year, I've played a lot, though I don't think I played as much this year as I did in 2021, but I still played quite a bit. I'll be honest. I definitely played uh, a ton, quite a lot. So I thought I'd at least show a bit of my home world, like how cool it is, because there's a lot of like this pool, this little like sauna place. There's a little incense over here you can see. It's pretty cool. But one of my favorite things about this world is I really like outside, because over here there's this really nice section that has a record player, and that record is The Caretaker, An Empty Bliss Beyond This World. And I've really gotten into vinyl. I got myself a record player to mess with and to play like records and vinyls and all that sort of stuff on it. And it's been really awesome to do. And I definitely have to I have to thank VRChat for doing that for me, because I think it's super cool. Like it definitely started with Tanuki Tunes, because Tanuki Tunes was the first real map, or the first real world in VR chat that I saw that had like a plethora of things to play, like a whole bunch of like different like playlists and all that. Like it is quite cool, honestly. I think it's very sick, and it just works super well, you know? Like I they don't have everything obviously in that world. There can only be so many albums and tracks that can be picked up and put in there, but with what it did, it was like just really cool to just find an album that you liked and just put it on the record player and it just play the whole album. I think that was the first time it like really kind of opened my eyes to just trying to listen to albums as a full-blown experience. So, yeah, I thought that was really cool, and that did kind of eventually make me want to get a record player of my own. And another part of it definitely has a lot to do with the caretaker, because there's a world in VR chat that I went to during Spookality that was talking about dementia. It is Adamente, I believe, is the name of it, and it was really like abstract and unique to me, and it mentioned everywhere at the end of time as credit for inspiration for it at the end of it. So I had to look up what that was, and it is the caretaker's 6.5 long hour project that for some reason I just kind of got really attached to it, and I wanted to own it as a vinyl. And as of today, I have actually gotten stage 1 and stage 2. So, and stage 3 and 4 are on the way, and then soon enough I'll get stage 5 and 6, and I'll have the whole thing. And I think it'll be really cool, because I think it's an absolutely marvelous piece of art. Like, it's probably one of my favorite like album series, whatever you want to call it, just in music. Just because of how deep and like it gets dark too, and it's just like the craziest thing like you'll ever listen to. But it is a trip, and I definitely have to thank VRChat for introducing me to it, because otherwise I don't think I ever would have found out about it. At least not for a while. I don't know for how long. It might have been quite some time. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, that like this is just one. This world I have made it my home world. I mean, and not just because of the record player, but also because like I think it's just very comfortable. I like the night theme of it. There's also a fire I can light. See? And it really kind of adds to the mood of this place. But it's also just like, I don't know. It's just like the stars, the moonlight, like how it's like God rays, but with the moon. Like that's cool. I think that's like super super sick. I think that's amazing. And there's a lot of other things to like. It's also like it's not just confined to this area at all. It's a lot bigger than that. It's so like there's this area over here, you know, this whole like building. But then if I go outside, my shaders don't really jive with the rest of the environment, but there's like a lot like here. There's a lot more that I can explore and see and do. And even getting in the water has like sound effects and all that here. See? It's pretty cool. I'm in my natural habitat here, essentially, in like this funny kind of way. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot more here than just that. But I like it. It like just like look at this moon. That's so cool. Isn't that so sick? I think that's so cool. And the shooting star as well. Oh, I love it. Like if I want to just get lost in thought, this is a absolutely phenomenal place to do it. And there's even this like, I don't know if you can see that, how well you can see that, but there's like a stone step to be able to get through the area. That's so cool. Yeah. This is my current home world. I've gone through a few this year. Used to be this like city apartment place called City Vibes. I liked that one for a good bit. But then I had to alternate between City Vibes version 1 and version 2. I liked both of those. Then I did Solar Cabins in October when that kind of released because I thought that was like super cool, a nice small apartment area. And then I joined a friend in this world and like just immediately liked it. And so I just love the vibe of it. Like it's super awesome, super amazing. But yeah, like I don't know. VRChat's just kind of like a thing I just do. It's not really, I wouldn't necessarily say it's like, I can actually go like this. I wouldn't necessarily say VRChat is like, it's not like it was in the first year. Like I know how I made like my first video of me playing it after a full year and doing that. It's more like now it's just kind of like the experiences are a lot different, and I don't really feel like making a whole long video going over all the pictures and all that. Like I still do collect a lot of pictures and take a lot of them, and I like to go back and look at them and all that, but I don't really feel the need to make a video entirely on it because I don't know. I just wanted to talk about the games that I've played this year. But I did especially want to start with VRChat just because I have played it probably more than any other game, because it's not really a game. It's more of like, let me open this door. It's more of a social experience than anything else. It's just it's really cool. It's really, really cool. You get to just see some really cool and awesome places like this. And most importantly, I get to hang out and have a great time with my friends, just having fun, doing whatever, like, like it's like a real social thing. Like as far as like what VRChat has done for me and continues to do for me, it's not really changed since last year. I don't get on it as much because I have other hobbies that I still like to do, but yeah, like I've made a lot more new friends and tried a bunch of different interesting things. Uh yeah, I don't know. I don't really have a whole lot to say in particular about VRChat itself, but it is, and it continues to be, just awesome because like there's so many new worlds that constantly come out. There's so many new places to explore, uh, and exploring with friends is obviously really, really fun. I love doing that, like a lot. Um, I don't know. I just don't see this. I'd see this game only getting like better for me over time. I don't. It's certainly not gonna get worse or anything. Like it's a social platform. It's like its own kind of experience, more so than anything else. I can just, when I want to roam around and get lost in something, I can do just that. I can just walk around in an empty street and just mentally get lost in like a good way. Like it's freeing, it's like meditative almost. It's pretty nice. I don't have any complaints. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I almost have, like, if I could go into more of like a timeline of what I've done this year in VRChat, but that would have to be like its own kind of video, and I don't really think I want to do that necessarily, just because I kind of want to just do this one video and leave that. Like, I was thinking of doing a video about the music I listened to this year, but the video game one just kind of makes more sense to me, I think, so I'm just gonna do that one. But yeah, like, I'm gonna continue playing VRChat for like a while. Like, I'm gonna even be in VRChat on New Year's Eve and like just celebrate New Year's Day with friends and stuff. So like, it's just, what's there to not like about this game? Like, it's phenomenal, and it's like a second life kind of thing. It's like another entire beast all on its own. Like, I can just do pretty much anything. I can be pretty much anything. It's just super cool. It's super cool. It's super amazing. I'm never gonna get tired of it, like, ever. So yeah, and I thought I would film this in VRChat again because like I like being Undyne. I still like being Undyne. I've been other characters, and I'll talk about that later. But yeah, VRChat's been splendid. Like I said, there's so many things I could say about this game that I've done, even just in this year, that it really would have to just be its own video. But I'm just here to talk about all the games I've played, and just VRChat was the literally like I even remember like January 1st of this year, I was like getting back from trying to get Taco Bell late at night because I was just trying to get it before before midnight, but I couldn't quite get in to like have the clock strike down. But I got in right afterwards, and I hung out with a good friend of mine, Louie, and just hung with him for pretty much the rest of the night until I went to bed. That was really awesome. So don't know what's gonna happen for 2023 in a few days here, but I'll find out, and it'll be cool. I'm sure I'm gonna have fun. I'm gonna have a good time. But yeah, what else can I say? What else can I say about this game that I haven't already said? Don't know. Like, I take a lot of pictures. I go back and look through them. A lot of fun worlds. Just I don't know. It is just like it's like social outing without going anywhere. I can stay in my apartment, do whatever the hell I want to do, and that's why I get on it like pretty regularly. Even some nights when like I don't see that many friends on, like I think even just roaming by myself is still pretty nice, pretty awesome. So, yeah, I think that's all I have to say about VR chat. All right, so the next game I played in 2022 is Quake. And with Quake, I did a lot of speedrunning. Primarily, that's like the thing I did the most, at least at the very, very beginning of the year. At the very beginning in January, for like the first few weeks or so, I was very heavily playing the Nightmare 100% category for just episode 2. I really wanted to get a sub 18, and I ended up doing that. I got a 1757. It was a bit of a grind to get there, but I knew I could do it because I was like really, really into speedrunning at that time. So, and it was fun. Like I did like doing that. Like it was like a really fun grind. I liked streaming it. I liked progressively getting better and better and doing all the strategies and thinking about it all and then when it came through and did all the performance and all that, it was like, oh, that's great. That's fantastic. Look at like, like it's really cool. It's really cool in that regard. And I am just, well, not feeling like speedrunning. Why is that? I don't know. I haven't touched Quake like as a speedrun game. I haven't touched Quake like since then, unfortunately. I just kind of stopped caring about it as much. I don't know. I mean, like there's other things that just kind of like took over or took priority is really what it boiled down to. I do in 2023, I do think I want to like come back to Quake at some point, because it's kind of like it feels like a root thing for me. Like it's something that I'm like kind of known for / I do inherently still really like speedrunning a lot, and I would play it, a lot to try to get certain times, but I know, so part of the reason for the burnout, or part of the reason that I stopped speedrunning Quake, specifically had to do with the Nightmare 100% category, because Nightmare is really freaking difficult. I think once I was done with episode 2, I didn't immediately start jumping into episode 3, because there was another game that came out like a few days like around that time that I got the 1757, where that kind of really just took over everything for me. And I'll get into that later, but as far as like plans for Quake, I was thinking about learning episode 3 next or something, but I don't know, because I think like once I finished episode 2, I tried to do episode 1 and episode 2 speed runs, and it's like the problem that I kept running into is that I constantly kept not finishing runs because I would die, because it's on Nightmare difficulty and you take more damage, you don't get as much health, like your armor gets eaten through really easily, there's way more enemies that can kill you. So just completing runs, not even like PBing all the time, just completing runs would take a long time. Like there'd be times where I'd stream for like 4 hours at a time trying to do both episode 1 and episode 2 as a marathon for Nightmare 100%, and I would maybe get one completed run, if even that. Sometimes the furthest I would get, I would get like stuck on like a later episode 2 map, like E2M6 or E2M5, and it would just get really or E2M3. E2M3 was especially egregious and especially annoying. But I wanted to stop doing Nightmare because of just how often I would just not finish runs, because like it's like what's fun about speedrunning is at least getting to finish, and then from there you can like worry about the time. but it's like if I just keep dying all the time and that like makes me reset runs, it's kind of annoying. So what I did later is I decided to try to learn easy 100%, because at least with easy 100%, I don't have to worry nearly as much about dying. There's also way less enemies, but I still get to do like the 100% stuff that I genuinely really enjoy doing. I started to learn episode 3 in like chunks later on in the year, but I couldn't bring myself to do it on a consistent basis because I just didn't have the real motivation to really get back into speedrunning and like grind it like crazy, like learn all the routing. Like I wasn't in the mood to like learn the new routing, especially for a totally new episode that I haven't tried to speedrun before. Because I'd like to eventually speedrun all of Quake easy 100% and not even really care about like getting like a really good time, just like do it for the fun of it, because I like the fun of it. It's the learning part and the route memorization and all that can get a bit annoying and cumbersome. So but like if you get through that, then you get to like the blissful part where like you just like autopilot through everything. You just try to go as fast as you can. You listen to hype fast music, do whatever, and it's super fun that way. It's just like that grind to practice and learn things is definitely slow and tedious, and I have to be in kind of the right mood and the right mindset to do that. So if I do pick up Quake again to speedrun specifically, then I will pick up where I left off. I'll probably have to relearn a good bit of episode 3 easy 100%, but I would start with episode 3 and go from there essentially. But I don't know. I do want to definitely get back into Quake speedrunning sometime next year. It doesn't have to be early. It can wait till the summer. It could probably not even happen till October. At some point I do want to do it again within the next year, because going like over a year and a half of not really speedrunning the game is quite a long time, especially since I did enjoy it so much. So I am hoping to do that next year. Then as far as I did play Quake casually a little bit. I think I played the remaster that was released on Steam. I played some of the expansions. I think I played, what is it, Dissolution of Eternity, I think. I played most of that. Just to try to play it like casually and not even like try to speedrun through it, and just like see all the cool different environments that I like about Quake. And I was enjoying that expansion for a bit, or whichever one it was, but I didn't I don't know, I didn't want to finish it. I kind of got tired of playing Quake casually after, like, it was like a small phase. It was like a short time where I wanted to play it casually, and then that kind of faded away and haven't really touched Quake since then. But I definitely do want to return to it as a speed game. I want to absolutely do that next year. I miss streaming it for one, and I do just miss kind of speedrunning stuff in general. There's a lot of other things that I like to occupy myself with that I'll talk about later. But yes, eventually Quake, I'd love it if Quake was on the menu again. God, I'd love it if Quake was on the menu again. The next game that I played in 2022 was Diabotical. And Diabotical is similar to Quake in that it is a very movement-based game where you play as Eggbots, and I'm very fond of it because it's way different than like speedrunning Quake. Because like what I like about speedrunning Quake is the marathons and how it's like, you know, Nightmare 100% just episode 2 is like a 20-minute speed run. It's a long run that's like divvied up, and like you can do like mistakes, but you can't do too many or else you lose like whole minutes of time and stuff like that. But with Diabotical, it's like time trial. Like literally the mode is time trials. It's time trial related things where each map is only like anywhere between like 15 to 30 some odd seconds completion time to do it, but some of them are designed really, really well, like especially like super cool. Like one of my favorite Diabotical maps that I played the entirety of touching the game, even since September 3rd of 2020 when it originally released, my favorite time trials map is easily Clock Fuel. Clock Fuel is like it came out the very very beginning of this year, when the whole like egg cup thing started. We had like a major egg cup that was very similar to the Quake 3 World Cup, the Defrag World Cup that happened like in October of last year. And so we wanted to, Al wanted to have something for specifically Diabotical. And for the first week, the map of Clock Fuel was what was made, and it was created, it was designed by Surdy, and it was arted by Sokum, and it is like such a memorable map for me because I grinded the absolute hell out of it. I don't remember exactly how many hours I spent, but I'm pretty sure I spent like 25 or so just. And I think that was mostly just in the race category, because there's also, or the race physics, because race physics are a lot like VQ3 or Defrag, and then there's vintage physics, which is a lot like Quake, so I kind of run both physics a good bit. And so I liked Clock Fuel a lot. Like, it's just design, like it's everything. It's also... when I was listening to The Weeknd like a ton at the beginning of the year, because Dawn FM also came out at the beginning of the year, and I was listening to pretty much his entire discography. So every time I listen to the album After Hours, I pretty much always think about Clock Fuel, because I PB'd on 2 separate occasions that I PB'd, including my current PB. I had a Weeknd song off of After Hours playing in the background, and it's like it is completely like melded in my mind. Those two are like meshed as one ever since then. Like literally I cannot separate the two anymore. So there's a good chance, just because I like Clock Fuel so much as a map, and I definitely feel like I can improve my time both in race and in vintage, especially vintage, that I'm gonna probably grind it again. I know earlier this year I did play on Clock Fuel again for 4 hours. I did a 4-hour grind session in like August, just out of complete nowhere, and a bunch of people watched it. I thought that was kind of cool. That was pretty neat. I tied my PB, but I didn't beat it. I tied it exactly down to the millisecond, but I did not beat it. Unfortunately, did not beat it. Or maybe it's fortunate, because my current PB that has After Hours playing in the background is still on the leaderboard. But yeah, like I grinded my ass off in the first week of Egg Cup for specifically around Clock Fuel, since that was the first map. And then there's a couple other new maps that were added in the following weeks. But like I know as the cup was going on and weeks, you know, were coming along more, I was getting more kind of burnt on like competing in that kind of way and trying to grind for a good time. Like the novelty of it like kind of faded a bit after a while. And then once the cup concluded, I feel like a majority of events and like the community around Diabotical kind of like withered away in favor of either Momentum Mod or Elam's new game that he was making. And I don't really know where it's at right now, other than like the little mini egg cups that have been happening based off of previous maps that Al has done. Those have been pretty cool. But as far as like my personal like involvement, I haven't touched Diabotical again, because it's like in the same speedrun category as Quake for me. I don't really know when I want to do speedrunning stuff again, but I wouldn't put it past me that like if I start doing Quake stuff again, I'm probably going to start doing Diabotical stuff again too. Like, wouldn't surprise me in the slightest, because both of those things kind of go hand in hand. They're very different games with very different like time lengths of like their maps and stuff, but it's the same principle. And I'm sure there will be like some sort of revival or something like that, or maybe there'll be a different momentum based game. Maybe Momentum Mod will be officially released and I'll want to just play that instead or something. I'm not so sure. I'll see. I'll figure it out when I get there. But yeah, like, I don't know. I haven't touched Diabotical in a while. I haven't touched Quake in a while. I want to again at some point, because there is something about the speedrunning like mantra, the whole speedrunning like thing, the ecosystem, the culture of it, the trying to beat your time, that like I do like. And I was liking it for a long time over other games because it was just like it's like a single player thing, but you kind of can compare your times to other people. It's like an interesting kind of competition, and I really enjoyed it for that. So yeah, kind of the same thing as Quake. I really would like to play more Diabotical time trials specifically in 2023 because, you know, I do kind of miss that. I kind of miss submitting times to the leaderboard. It's been quite a long time since I've done that, so I hope to do it again at some point. So the next game that I'm talking about is a pretty prevalent one because I would very much say that this game took up a large majority of my time, you know, besides VRChat, obviously, but like for definitely the first half of the year, this was pretty much the only game I was playing, and that's Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel. And so Master Duel came out January 23rd, I believe, something like that this year, and I wasn't playing it at first, but I believe what made me want to at least try it out was that I actually saw Trihex play it like once on his stream. I think that was the only time. Like in hindsight, it's really funny because I'm pretty sure that's the only time he actually played Master Duel on his stream to try to build a Gravekeeper's deck. And like, I don't know. He just like he like only played it for like a day or two and then like never touched it again, even though he said he probably would. But like, yeah. Tri-X played it, and I'm like, wait a minute. This looks like a really good, like, simulator. Like, it's an official Konami-made game, and it looks great. It looks phenomenal. Like, there's animations, and there's cosmetics, and there's all these, like, neat things that, like, anytime I ever saw, like, that I wanted to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Online before, it was all like, oh, it was either, not Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, Dueling Book. It was like Dueling Book where you had to do everything manual, and I'm like, no, I don't want to. I want an automator. I want a simulator because there's so many like rulings and things within the game. I got no idea what the hell is going on, and I need the game for it to know for me instead of me like getting corrected on rulings all the fucking time. So when I saw Master Duel being played, I'm like, this looks kind of neat. I haven't touched Yu-Gi-Oh! Literally since like 2009, but I'll give us a shot, sure. So I downloaded it on my Switch because I like the idea of I originally played like 2007 back in like 2007 2008. I had a DS and I played the Yu-Gi-Oh! World Championships 2007 game on it, and I had a lot of fun with deck building back then. Even though I played online, there was an online system. There wasn't rankings for it, I don't think, but there was an online system where I got to actually like play against people, and that was really cool. That was super awesome because I got to try out a bunch of. I think like I made a couple of like Exodia decks and all that. I just remember having like a lot of fun with it, especially on like a handheld basis. So when I saw that I could play it on my Switch, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, I'm just going to get this on my Switch and play that. And at first, all I was going to do was just open some packs and just see what cards I get and just kind of be like, oh, that's neat, you know, didn't really think much of it. And so I opened a couple of master packs, and literally I think in the very first like 10 pack that I open, one of the first cards I see is, I believe, was it an Alien Gray? I think it was Alien Gray. It was one of the Alien cards. And I was reminded immediately that, like, wait a minute, that's right. That was the archetype that I was really interested in back in, like, 2009 when I, like, actually was kind of still collecting cards then. So I'm like, huh, it's been, well over a decade since I've even thought about aliens. Like, where are aliens now? And, like, that... Just seeing that one card and being reminded of that archetype is like, oh yeah, it just set me on a path to just do all this research to even find just what the latest like good alien deck would even be, and like how I could play it, and how it could even like work. And it just led into like one thing after another, and then soon I'm watching like daily, I'm literally spending hours upon hours upon hours watching YouTube videos, learning about like how modern Yu-Gi-Oh is played, learning about other different decks and how to play against other different decks and all that sort of thing, but like still under the guise of like trying to build this like alien deck and having fun with that, and just like I swear, like I was getting almost like self-conscious about how I was spending my time back in like February and March, because there literally would be days where I did nothing but either play Master Duel or like deck build or watch YouTube videos on Yu-Gi-Oh. Like I was hooked. I was stupidly hooked. I was ridiculously like into it. Like God, I'm like, I had not been into any kind of game like that in so fucking long. Like I cannot recall the last time. Maybe Overwatch when it released back in 2016. Like I don't know, man. Like God. Well, I mean, I guess VRChat kind of does count in some way, because I mean I was super into that when I got into it in 2020, but like, oh, just as far as like a game, especially a card game, no less. When last time I played a card game before Master Duel this year was Hearthstone in 2017. That was only for like a few months. I played like Reno Warlock. I had fun with that for a decent bit, but then once Reno went out of rotation, I lost interest and just stopped caring. But then with Master Duel, it's like modern Yu-Gi-Oh is very complex, but like once I understood it, it's like, dang, this is kind of cool. This is kind of fun, especially with like even learning about the like more modern alien cards and trying to build an alien deck. And then eventually I realized like just pure alien builds kind of bad. It's actually really bad. And so then it's like, all right, what other reptiles can I do? I need to expand. I'm gonna do reptiles now. And then there's like a whole bunch of reptiles build with Ogdotics and snakes and stuff, and you know, that's cool. And I kept wanting to reiterate that and focus on that, to the point where I eventually I hit Diamond 5 with a reptile deck at the end of June. At the very, very end of June, and I got some pretty nice replays, and I got to show off, like, because like basically all the deck did was just build a bunch of like generic extra deck monsters that would protect specifically Cosmic Slicer and Alien Kids, so that I would like one-side Baguska my opponent when they tried to special summon things. And it was neat. It's like, okay, aliens can kind of do something that's kind of cool. And even my replays got featured in a Decade video too. That was sick. That was like the cornerstone. That's like the like, I've done all that I wanted to do with this game. I got like a video out there showing off the power of the deck, or like what fun things that it can do. And yeah, I feel like pretty accomplished in doing that. I hit at least Diamond 5, and I felt like everything that I kind of wanted to do with the game, I kind of did it all in the first like 6 months of this year. I even not just reptiles too. I delved into Dragon Link a little bit because I wanted to kind of learn a harder combo deck, because it seemed pretty interesting. There were some Dragon Link cards that looked really cool to me, and I wanted to own them. Oh yeah, I also bought a lot of cards as well. I bought a ton. I spent hundreds of dollars on buying cardboard. I bought a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I have them stashed away in like a closet of mine. Yeah, I you know, I wanted to have them. I didn't want to build a deck, because building a deck, especially when you needed to play like very common staples, some of them weren't easy to obtain just because of their rarities and their printings and all that. Like, it gets very expensive. I think I even did the numbers on like trying to build my reptile deck, like for TCG, and I actually did play Yu-Gi-Oh! Omega, which is like a better emulator for like TCG stuff and best of threes. But I tried to even like get the numbers of like how much it would cost me to just build my reptile deck for TCG, and it would have been like $400, $500, and I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna actually try to like enter tournaments with this. Like, I'm not gonna spend that kind of money, you know, and it's a good thing that I didn't, because one of the key cards to even enable making the ridiculous end board that I did was Crystron Halki Firebrax, which got banned in Master Duel in like September, and it got banned in the TCG I think not long after. And when it got banned, it's like that kind of nullified all my interest in doing anything with reptiles, unless like some major new cool support that makes me want to maybe try it again comes out, but probably not. I don't think I have any real interest in touching reptiles again. Like I literally mained them as a deck for months, and it's like, yeah, I kind of want to do some other things now. So yeah, like the first, like literally from like January 23rd or 25th or so, I don't remember exactly, but like late January all the way until like early July was I doing mostly Yu-Gi-Oh! Like the entire time. Like so much Yu-Gi-Oh! Like just in Master Duel on the Switch alone, I have like what, 300 something hours, almost 400 hours there. That's just playing the game on the Switch. That's not even like making YouTube videos and like doing it. Like I didn't do a deck profile. I probably should have in hindsight, but I did like a deck tutorial on like how to combo with that deck using this like wild. I remember also, yeah, it was like this Dragon Link like hybrid of reptiles. Like I used a small Dragon Link engine to help make it more consistent to get to the stupid ridiculous end board that I made, and it was cool. I liked making it. It's not relevant anymore. It obviously aged like milk. So yeah, but then once like July came around, and especially after I got like featured on a Decade video, and I hit Diamond 5 twice. The first time I hit Diamond 5 actually was just with with Dragon Link, and that was also when like AFK bots were rampant, and it felt like I didn't really earn hitting Diamond 5, so it was kind of but the second time around for that was for May. For June though, I hit it legitimately and with reptiles, and I'm like, I feel accomplished. I don't feel like I need to like take this game like super seriously anymore. So I kind of like gradually started playing less and less of it in July, and then eventually like I played it I think only like a handful of times in August, and then since then I hadn't touched it. But then recently I've had a bit of a revival with Master Duel. I thought I was done with Yu-Gi-Oh! That like I was like, I'm not gonna really watch, like even gradually over the course of like August and I think September, I just like stopped watching Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTube videos altogether. I wouldn't even want to watch like the streamers or anything or anything like that. Like like more and more as time went on, I was caring less and less about Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Master Duel or any of that stuff. But recently, during Thanksgiving break, I came across, so like I still get recommended because I watched so many Yu-Gi-Oh! YouTube videos in the first half of the year. I still get recommended Yu-Gi-Oh! Videos in my recommended on YouTube, obviously. So, but like one of them was a recent history of Yu-Gi-Oh! That released like around Thanksgiving, and I was, at my parents' during the time, and it was about Apocryphal Towers. And I remember when I was doing my research on like modern terminology within the Yu-Gi-Oh! That like towers was a common thing that was being used, or it was a common term used for boss monsters that were really hard to out, and it was based off of Apocryphal Towers, which was really prevalent in 2015 and 2016. And I had heard about how Apocryphal Towers is a really solid boss monster, but I never got to see it in action, let alone how summoning it worked even. And it wasn't until I saw that History of Yu-Gi-Oh! Video that it showed like, oh, I see. Oh, Clees are cool because you summon a whole bunch of them and then you tribute them to get out towers, and then you can draw 3 because of Monolith. That's cool. And then like there's still a lot of things that can't destroy or can't affect towers itself, except link monsters, obviously. But it's like, it was just nice to like see it actually being played and in action. Like I got to see MBT like played, and like that was helpful to like visualize how the deck is played. And so because of that, I'm like, I want to now play towers in Master Duel because I want to see where I can get with towers. Oh yeah, this actually reminds me of kind of another big reason why I stopped playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Is because, especially I learned this like so much so with Dragon Link, but like modern Yu-Gi-Oh!, especially if you play a combo oriented deck, it's really kind of dependent on like who wins the coin flip and who goes first. Because if you don't have any interruption, if you're going second and you don't have any interruptions for someone that's playing a combo deck, and they make their full board, like it's Adamancipator, and they make Borreload Savage Dragon, Baron, and 3 material Appaloosa, like, that's kind of hard to play against unless you have like Sphere Mode or something. And it's like, I was getting really tired of modern Yu-Gi-Oh! Because it's like most duels, especially with combo decks, would be done in the first 3 turns. Like they would either be done on turn 2 or turn 3. They would rarely ever go past turn 3. And only if they did, it was probably because both players bricked or something. So yeah, like, and it got really annoying, like, because I'd get ashed on one thing and that would end my turn. Max C was a menace in Master. It still kind of is for a lot of decks, like, but for me personally, it was like when I was playing the reptile stuff, and especially when I was doing Dragon Link, every time I got Max C'd and I had nothing to stop it, oh man, it was frustrating. Very, very frustrating. I can definitely understand why people are thankful that card is banned in the TCG. Like, I get it. I definitely get it. Maxi is a frustrating card to play against if you play combo decks, for certain. Especially considering it's also like one of the most popular hand traps in Master Duel. But yeah, like, I was really getting tired of how fast the game was and how like short things would be and how non-interactive often it would be. Like, you just play solitaire and you build a board of negates, and then your opponent can't play through them and they just scoop, they just surrender. And it's like, that's not fun, that's boring, I don't want to do that. Like, so I was trying to think of like, maybe I should play an older format, maybe I should look at like Goat or Edison or something. And then I really tried looking at those different formats, and I just couldn't find anything that I like wanted to do there. Like, I tried looking at decks, I tried like thinking about different archetypes in those different older formats, and just nothing stood out to me as anything that I particularly wanted to do. So I just ended up not. I just ended up not even like trying to play those or do anything more with those anymore, and just, that was it. Plain and simple. So yeah. But that was a big reason, because I was just really getting tired of the whole combo oriented aspect. I was tired of like, if you go first, you basically win, or if you get interrupted enough, you lose, or whatever. It just felt so non-interactive, and I wanted to stop playing. But lately, I've been finding a revival with Master Duel, or with Yu-Gi-Oh! In general, I guess, because what the Towers deck made me realize playing Cleese is it functions a lot like a control deck, because when you have towers on the field and they can't really out it, you slowly dwindle their resources little by little, and they slowly start running out of things to try to out it or try to defend, and then eventually they just lose, or you hit them over enough times or something like that. And it's just kind of like, well, that feels better, because unlike some people, like a lot of people probably don't want duels to last long, especially if you're playing competitively. You don't want them to last long because you're against a timer. But like, for me personally, I like it when duels are like really back and forth. They last a long time, and you have like interactions like every single turn. There's something that you can do. Like, that's what's most fun to me about Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think playing Cleese and playing Tower Turbo for a little bit made me kind of realize I like control decks. I think I just like control deck. Like, I think I just prefer to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Playing a control deck. And so now we bring to like what I'm kind of doing in the current day in Master Duel. Now I'm playing, because I went from Cleese, like pure Cleese, to just turbo out towers, to then trying this Cleefert Monarch hybrid, because I got to learn a good bit about Monarchs, because I thought Caius was a pretty cool card, especially because it's just so stupidly popular. And like, I don't know if it's popular in Goat or Reaper or which format it is. They're busted there, but like, I thought Caius was a neat card, and then like, oh, Caius and Clee, like, you know, or Monarchs and Clees, like together, like this kind of looks cool. Tried that for a bit. Had some nice ideas around it, but like, unfortunately, that like they shut each other off like way too much. And it's like, oh, these actually don't synergize well at all. I need to think of a different deck archetype to try to do. So I then go and think about one of my favorite cards. Probably, like, if you were to ask me over the course of this entire year, what is my favorite, like, straight up Yu-Gi-Oh card that has consistently made me have like the most fun with the game, I would tell you it's Layer of Darkness. And it started with back when I was doing reptile decks. I would play a variant of the reptile decks where I was running Layer of Darkness in it. And what's really cool is with Ogdotic specifically, because they are, you know, you want to get them in the graveyard, and then you tribute things on your field in order to special summon them. And that tributing is an effect. So you can use Layer of Darkness to tribute one of your opponent's monsters to get an Ogdotic onto the field. So often I would have either the Ogdotic king or queen in the graveyard, and I would tribute like a token on my field or something weak or something that I didn't really need, and I would tribute one of my opponent's monsters. And obviously tributing an opponent's monsters is one of the best ways to out like really big boss monsters, especially ones that can't be targeted or unaffected or a lot of things. I think they had to be affected specifically by Layer of Darkness. So like the Link 5 Ignister doesn't, like, that one's not affected by anything. So like you can't Layer of Darkness tribute it away. I think you can only kaiju it. But otherwise, like, for the most part, a lot of boss monsters, a lot of Omni Negates and all that, yeah, I could just tribute them away. And I just would almost always have stuff in my graveyard. I'd always have those Ogdotics to tribute in my graveyard. So, like, every single turn, I was able to, like, constantly rotate out and tribute my opponent's stuff. And it was a really kind of neat form of control. I actually have a bunch of replays on my channel of me doing just that, using Layer of Darkness. And so, because it was so prevalent and so fun with me, for me to use it with Ogdotics, I'm like, maybe there's a deck that, you know, because I hadn't looked at like Master Duel meta to see what, like, you know, the recent decks that have been made are. I'm like, maybe there's something that's been recently made with Layer of Darkness that I can check out and see like how it works. So I look it up on masterduelmeta.com. And the first thing I see at the very top of the list, like a recent deck that was made in like the middle of December, is this very interesting idea of combining Eldritch and Layer of Darkness. And I'm like, oh snap, that looks really sick. This looks kind of cool. And like, I already knew like inherently that like, if I want to play control, the best deck that I've known for the longest time that's best at control is Eldritch. Obviously, that's probably going to change over time. If it's probably already changed even as of now, that Labyrinth is going to be the best control deck to play. But like, it's funny because like I hated playing against Eldritch for the longest time because of like skill drain and all that. Like, God, it was like so annoying to play against. But like now that I'm playing as it, it's like, oh yeah, like I don't have to worry about a lot of things. Like one of the first matches I played recently was against the Buster Dragon Lock, which locks you out of your extra deck and you can't activate any of your effects on the field. But Eldritch doesn't care about that. It doesn't really care about the extra deck. It doesn't care about on-field effects at all. That's why it runs skill drain. So it's just like I was just able to beat that like no problem. And it was awesome. It's great. Like I'm able to just win these things. And so I learned a bit more about the Layer of Darkness archetype and how to use Lilith properly, because I actually forgot that Lilith was a quick effect. Her tribute is a quick effect. And so right now I'm just having a lot of fun with this Eldritch Layer of Darkness deck that was inspired by Master Duel, but then over Christmas break I actually I found this guy named Matt. His YouTube name is like literally, it looks like an address code in code, but like his name is Matt. But he talked a lot about like the proper ratios in Eldritch and like what cards you should be playing and what cards you shouldn't be playing. And it's like, oh, like I loved how in detail and descriptive he was about everything and explaining exactly like why this sucks, like why Golden Land Forever is like such a terrible card because it makes you go -1, and it's like you shouldn't use it. You know, like I'm like, why aren't more videos that like teach you an archetype and what cards to play exist on YouTube? Like, I mean, maybe there are, and I just haven't looked, but I'm glad that there was one in several videos like that for Eldritch, and like I have to give huge props to Matt for doing that, because like hell yeah, I've made like such a better deck as a result of it, and like now I'm playing that deck. And I want to play Master Duel a lot so I can climb the ladder. I might even hit Diamond before the year's even over. I could maybe even hit Diamond 1 before the year's over. That'd be pretty cool. I haven't hit Diamond 1 at all. We'll see. You know, like Eradicator Epidemic Virus is doing a whole lot for me, where I destroy all my opponent's spells or all their traps. So like every time I played, I don't think I've lost to I think I only lost to one Runic player, and that was specifically because they were playing this Changing Runic combo that I thought, like in hindsight, I'm like, wow, that's really cool. But when I was playing it in the moment, it was really frustrating because I had no idea what the hell was going on. But it's like, oh, it makes a lot of sense to purposely trigger Changing's effect with Runic cards. It's like, oh, smart. That's very smart. That's the only time I've lost to Runic. Every other like pure Runic deck or Runic Adventure deck that I've played against just loses hard because they get Eradicator Epidemic Virus, lose all their spells, and then they just scoop. It's so satisfying. Ah, man. So I'm really glad that for Master Duel, I've like found a deck that's super fun to climb with and super fun to play, and I'm like kind of in it again. I'm enjoying playing a control deck. I'm enjoying playing Eldritch, and I think what's also really cool is I even looked at the price for it if I were to make this in a TCG version with like a side deck and all that, and it would be way cheaper than the one that would be filled with like staples and stuff for the reptile deck that I mentioned earlier. It'd be like it'd be $170, which is phenomenally better. And what's also interesting is like if I don't buy like Sphere Mode, like 3 copies of Sphere Mode, 3 copies of Solemn Judgment, Access Code Talker, which I could probably just not even, I haven't even gone to Access Code Talker once. I've already played like 30 some odd duels or something, 20 some odd, 30 some odd duels. I've not felt the need to even go into Access Code Talker once. In fact, the only thing in Master Duel eventually I want to get is I want to get Gustav Max and then Lieb, because there have been a couple times where like my opponent has like a 2,000 life points left and I just want to like XZs into Gustav and just finish them off like that. Like that's like the only other, like that's the only extra deck play like you probably actually make is the deck. And it's just super nice. Like you don't play hand traps, you play a lot of like really like basic control deck stuff, so it's very budget friendly. Like if I do really well in Master Duel, and then like when I try making a TCG deck, if I can do really well in TCG and in Omega and really enjoy doing that, I'm actually seriously considering like buying every card and entering local tournaments. Because we have a local TCG shop that's like 8 minutes from me that actually hosts Melee tournaments, which is also really cool. But I could probably buy cards from there, and I could probably enter tournaments there and just try that out. Like, I'm more excited to try to play Master Duel, like, competitively in general, because I like this Eldritch, Layer of Darkness deck, and I want to see how far it takes me. There's a good chance I wouldn't be surprised if like Eldritch ends up becoming bad, especially because TCG, because a lot of stuff is getting banished, and obviously if your Eldritches get banished, that's bad for you. But like, and maybe I'll switch to Labyrinth, do a Labyrinth Layer of Darkness kind of hybrid thing. I don't know, but like, it's really, it's awesome that it's exciting and it's fun for me. Not to mention, it's a deck that works very, very well, and it's doing very well. Like, I got an 8 win streak today just doing it. So like, it's doing phenomenal. It's fun. It's doing phenomenal. I'm having a good time. I feel good about it. I'm glad it's kind of revived all within the year, and that this game has been just splendid to play. Like, I really want to play it more. I really like, I haven't felt like super grinding a competitive game in some time, and like Yu-Gi-Oh's kind of like, I'm kind of just playing it, and then like I'll kind of be done once I've played a good bit for the day. Like, I'm not like spending hours each day playing it, but I'm really like mentally in a good spot for playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and I want to keep playing more. I'm definitely playing a lot more in 2023, and like I said, there's a good chance I'm probably going to play in locals. I'm going to actually buy a deck and play in locals, and it'll be sweet. It'll be awesome. So yeah, I think is that all that I have? I mean, that's a lot that I've said. I have said a lot about Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, because it's very, very prevalent. Very, like, if you want to talk about game of the year as far as how much time and thought I have spent this year alone, Master Duel would probably take the spot. I think Master Duel would be like game of the year, just in terms of like how rent-free it has lived in my brain throughout the entire freaking year. So yeah, good lord. Whew. Okay, I think I've covered pretty much everything on Master Duel. Awesome. Cool. Okie doke. So the next game that I played in 2022 is Deltarune chapters 1 and 2. Because at the end of last year, I played through Undertale, and I wanted to do Pacifist and try to get as far as I could in Genocide. I did beat Undying the Undying. Hey, that's me. That's this right here. I beat this. But I could not beat Sans. I didn't want to fucking be stuck on Sans for like 8+ hours. So like, I tried grinding him for 4 hours, couldn't do it, and I'm just like, fine. He did it. He was successful. He beat me, and I'm like, and ever since then I'm like, I'm not touching Undertale again for like another 6 years or however long. But after that, I'm like, I want to play Deltarune. So that's what I'm doing here. And so Deltarune, not as prevalent for me as like Undertale has been, but like Deltarune it's been pretty cool thus far. Like, and it's only been like 2 chapters. Like, chapter 1 was pretty short, from what I remember, but it was still nice. I still liked playing it. Getting introduced to the new characters like Susie, Chris. I am dark over here. I need to move. But like, being introduced to all these like new characters and plethora of new music and all that, it doesn't give me quite the same like grand scheme of things feeling that like Undertale gave me, but it does feel, it feels like it's its own thing, which is precisely what Toby Fox was hoping for. He wants Deltarune to feel like it is its own game, separate from Undertale, even if they're in kind of a similar universe of sorts. I do like that, Alphys and Undyne are very much present in Deltarune chapters 1 and 2, even if they don't play like a significant role or anything, but they are like side characters, so they exist. And playing chapters 1 and 2 was decently fun. Like, there was a lot of humor, like classic Toby Fox humor spread throughout the entire thing. Like, obviously, like super catchy tunes, even the one that's playing like right now. Like, man, it's pretty fun. And it's what's also neat is it's like that was just the first 2 chapters. The next thing that's going to happen as far as the release of that is there's going to be chapters 3, 4, 5, and 6, like the full rest of the game, right? And that's exciting. I know people were hoping that there was going to be some sort of Deltarune announcement this year in September when Undertale hit its 6th anniversary, or 7th. No, yeah, it was 7th. That's right, it did turn 7 this year. But yeah, people were hoping for like a Deltarune Chapter 3 or like the next thing in Deltarune to be announced, and Toby Fox is like, no, I don't think anything's ready. But yeah, so I am looking forward to seeing like how it progresses and where it goes. I actually, honestly, I did a lot of stuff in Deltarune Chapter 1 and 2. I did not do the Snowgrave stuff. I actually still have yet to see like what Snowgrave is even about, or even how to do it. And I don't really think I care to boot up the game myself, so I'll probably just like watch it or something and just like see like what Snowgrave is, because there's a whole Snowgrave ending with Noelle, and I'm just like, I don't know what this is about, but it seems interesting. So it's just funny how like it hasn't really crossed my mind until like, you know, now that I'm thinking about it or so. But yeah, so I enjoyed it. I'm not like in love with the game or anything. Like I said, I think the cameos are nice and all that, and I do look forward to seeing what Chapter 3 will bring, but I don't know. I'm not crazy about it, but I am definitely going to play it when it comes out. 100%. I'm glad I'm like all caught up, because I know when Chapter 2 came out last year, and everyone was playing the hell out of it, I'm like, oh geez, this looks like something I should probably catch myself up on. So now that I'm there, I'm looking very forward to seeing what's going to happen next. Yeah, I don't have a whole lot else to say about Deltarune, but yeah, looking forward to the future. Feel like we will maybe see something in 2023 or around this game. I look forward to what Toby Fox makes, because I think he's really, really sick. I think he is an amazing a developer, and like Undertale, I still feel like is his magnum. I don't know. Maybe Deltarune's like his magnum opus. Who knows? It's definitely a lot like more refined, and there's more mechanics and more things to do in Deltarune. Like it's more gamey than Undertale just being like a pure narrative experience, or like it's just good writing and all that. But I mean, still, I'm looking forward to what's in the future for Deltarune. Hell yeah. All right, so the next game that I played, and this one's going to be a bit short for me to talk about it, but the next one that I played is Apex Legends. I didn't really play this completely of my own volition. I mostly played it because a good friend of mine, Lonely French Fry, would play it all the time. And there was at least one character in Apex that I thought was interesting, that I kind of liked and kind of wanted to play as, just to kind of see how they were, and that was Pathfinder, because Pathfinder is like a pure robot kind of guy, and I think like his voice is kind of nice, and he's a bit enthusiastic, he has a decent sense of humor, and he looks pretty cool, and there's some really cool skins for Pathfinder as well. But as far as playing Apex, like the whole battle royale, I've never really been a fan of battle royales ever since they've been popular. So like playing Apex Legends and just playing its normal battle royale mode is just, I don't know, I'm not a big fan of it, mostly because like I think my biggest gripe, especially like if you're playing in a squad, if you die and you just can't be revived, you're just out. You can't play for the entire rest of the time, and you just have to spectate and watch your friends play. So if you want to play, especially all the time, and you're playing battle royale, you really want to not die. Like dying obviously like feels more like a risk, like you don't want to die kind of thing. And it's like, I get, you know, that's the appeal for battle royales, I guess, and you can like scavenge through things and find gear. But the biggest problem I've always had with battle royales is there's not a lot of actual gameplay, there's not a lot of gun action, and it's mostly just like trying to find equipment upgrades so that you don't get one shot from afar or something. And then sometimes you just get one shot from afar anyway, and like you're dead or you're knocked down before you can even figure out where the enemy is. It's just like, is that fun? I don't know. I don't really think so. So normal battle royale in Apex Legends I'm not crazy about. There was a game mode, and I forgot the name of it. It was like Control or something. It's a lot like, it's not Capture the Flag. It's like Territories. I forgot what it was in Call of Duty. But like, there's a game mode that was released, temporary, like for a short period of time. Then it came back a little bit later. But this year, I believe it was Control, right? I don't remember exactly, but it functioned like a typical like first-person shooter kind of game where like you control, like there's A, B, and C on the map, and if you control A and B, you earn more points than people who are controlling just C. That whole thing, and like that was decent because at least when I died, I just respawned a little bit later near a point that I had captured, and you know, I could keep playing it. So like I kind of got to more mechanically play the game and get familiar with it, and you know, try the guns. Sniping was like really difficult because like there's bullet fall off, so like it's not like pure hit scan. You have to like actually aim to like hit people in the head and stuff, and had to really get used to that. And I don't know, like it was decent. I did enjoy playing it with my friends, and giving it like a decent try, but like eventually I just kind of stopped playing it, and my enthusiasm or wanting to play it just didn't really come. It wasn't really, I wanted to at least try it just to play with friends for a little bit, but then after I kind of realized this isn't really the game for me, I didn't play much more of it beyond that. So, and I don't think I'm gonna touch Apex Legends again. I do still think Pathfinder is a cool character, but I just don't think I'm paying much attention to Apex just in general. I just don't have any real interest in it, and I don't see myself having interest in it anytime soon. So that's pretty much it for Apex. That's pretty much it at all. You know, I don't have much more to say. So the next game that I played this year, this one also was kind of a short stint, but this one I played completely of my own volition, or not completely actually. A friend of mine, Alia, was talking about playing Mario Golf Super, Mario Golf Super. It's fucking, Mario Golf Super. That's what it's called. That is what it's called. So, Mario Golf Super Rush was the next one that I played. So I played on the Switch. Friend of mine, Alia, was like talking about playing it, and I'm like, you know, I haven't played a golf game since like Wii Sports back in like 2007 or so. So like, I'm like, man, I kind of miss playing just any kind of golf game, or even kind of golf in general, because like you get to be on some really pretty courses. And you know, I'm like, you know, why not give Mario Golf Super Rush a try? So I buy the game, and I think I mostly bought it at first to play with friends and play with Alia, and I did that I don't actually think we did play it, which is incredibly ironic because like I ended up playing it just on my own a whole bunch. I played the campaign all the way through to the end. I never played online. I never played like ranked mode, even though that did exist. I kind of just played the campaign, and then like that was it. And I don't think I did much more. But I did get into watching Blue Candy, I believe that's his name, Blue Candy, who was doing Mario Golf Super Rush speedruns on his Twitch channel, and I was kind of like amazed by it because it's like, wow, like speedrunning a Mario Golf game is actually kind of cool looking. Because like I saw the Summoning Salt video on speedrunning Wii Sports, but I didn't know about like Mario Golf, and so like that introduced me to like Mario Golf Super Rush speedruns, and also Toadstool Tour, which like I watched Blue Candy's like record, like he got like what, it was a sub 50 minutes, and that was like momentous. That's huge, and like there's like a bounty even to beat that record because it's really tough, very very, like the game's pretty RNG oriented. So but like that was kind of cool. Like I'm glad I got to like see about Blue Candy, because of course whenever I play a single player game and finish it, I almost always want to look at like a speed run of it, just for the hell of it, just to see how it's speed ran. And I'm glad I got to like learn about Blue Candy because of that. So that was cool. And as far as playing Super Rush myself, like I said, the campaign was okay. Nothing like, it was really kind of hokey and, you know, typical run-of-the-mill Mario sports game campaign. Like, what do you really expect from it? The courses were pretty cool. There's a lot of really interesting, neat course designs, and I think like the game did a decent job of fulfilling like what I wanted it to do, or like you know, it filled some space, filled some time, but it didn't like, it wasn't like a staple. It was just like, it's like a short little thing that happened this year, and it was neat, and that's kind of basically it. Not really much more to it. So if Master Duel, if Yu-Gi-Oh as a whole pretty much took up the first half of the year for me, then what took up the second half, might you ask? Well, that would be Super Smash Bros. Melee, because so it kind of really technically starts back in March, because March 1st was the first time that I had touched Melee at all in any way, shape, or form. Playing it online, playing on Slippy Unranked. I played it in March because I really I hadn't thought about playing Melee in so long, because like the last time I even played it, I think in general, was when I quit that tournament that was on October 3rd, and I went into VRChat, that like momentous day for me. That was the last time I like touched it, I think, at all. And I hadn't even, actually no, I did play some in January of 2021, but that was for like a couple games. I hardly even count that. Like, as far as like the last time I grinded playing the game like on a regular basis sort of thing, that was definitely like August of 2020. So it had been a year and a half since I had like touched the game, and I started playing it again because I just missed what was fun about the game for me. And I'm like, the character I have the most fun with in Melee is Ganondorf. I have the most fun with that guy, so I just kind of want to play as him. So when I started playing again in March, at first I had this idea of doing like a combo video thing. Like every week I put out like a combo video of like a random character. I got Ganondorf the first week, or I made it Ganondorf the first week because I wanted to. And then I picked random until I got a character that I was interested in, and I got Marth. So Marth was the second week. And then the third week it just went back to Ganon again. And so I'm like, sure, I guess I'm fine with that. And then the fourth week, I think it was Marth again, and I kind of just fizzled out, and I kind of didn't really want to make another video again because I'm like, this is kind of boring. And then very, very quickly, also, when I was playing Marth back then, I got frustrated really quickly with like Marth, because like there's like a certain kind of standard I have for myself when it comes to like comboing, and if I like drop combos all the time, it's super frustrating. But like with Ganon, it's like I don't really get frustrated playing that character. I don't get frustrated at my like ineptitude of playing that character. So I'm like, I'm probably just gonna only play as Ganon. But I wasn't playing Melee a whole lot in March or April. I did play it every month, but only like a little bit, and mostly as like a casual thing. I didn't enter any tournaments or do really anything, you know, like I said, for March, April, May, or June. I did go to my first in-person tournament in over 2 years. In May, I went to Welcome to Guam, and that was like the biggest North Carolina local that had happened in well over 2 years. There was like 60 entrants or something like that. It was like so many people, but I didn't want to enter because I still wasn't in a place where I wanted to compete. But I did show up, and I played some friendlies with people, and people were glad to see me. And it was even really also another really cool thing was some people were there, and they commented on my Yu-Gi-Oh videos that I've been posting, and they were like, I like your Yu-Gi-Oh stuff. And I was like, oh, thanks. I didn't know people watched that, you know? Like, I thought that was kind of neat. So yeah, like it was nice to kind of see people and stuff, but I was still pretty distant from everything. I wasn't trying to practice, I wasn't trying to compete, I wasn't trying to get better even. I was just playing the game to try to just enjoy myself. But then on July 2nd, I watched Whiplash. And Whiplash is easily probably one of the best movies I have ever seen, because it like moved me in a way. It like made me really think about like, damn, like what if I just tried to apply myself in that kind of way for something in my life, you know? Like what if I like really tried like that hard? Like what if I got like angry about it, and I'm like that passionate where I really wanted it like so bad. Like Whiplash was like such a just stupendously good movie that it made me want to like compete in Melee again. I wanted to actually enter tournaments. I wanted to practice. I wanted to get better, because I honestly asked myself, like, man, like if there's any like one thing I would really like to try to get back into or get better at competitively that I've been dealing with for a long time, it's Melee. And so that helped me get back into it in early July. So I would enter like Melee as an art form, which was in the beginning of July, and then there wouldn't be another tournament to enter until late August in the form of Wispy Woods, but I did enter that. And I tried to enter a bunch of tournaments and all that, and I was grinding it. I was playing a lot of unranked. I was playing I even played in a good number of net play tournaments too, and I was doing it all as Ganondorf. All as just pure Ganondorf, not touching any other characters whatsoever. So, yeah, like, I was enjoying it. I was definitely, and I would get mad. Like, eventually, I would get, like, angry, but I was, like, okay with it, because I knew I cared, and this is, like, what I wanted, and I wanted to get better. I wanted to learn how to do things better playing as Ganon, and like what was a really cool idea. A big reason why I wanted to enter tournaments again is because I still have this goal of wanting to be power ranked in North Carolina as Ganondorf. Like that's cool. Like being so good with like this shitty mid tier to be ranked. Like someone's already done that. Prometheus, when he was in North Carolina, I think the highest ranking he got was second. At least third. He's been on the PR at like third at like a couple times, I think, but I believe the highest he ever placed was second, right behind Hi-Fi. And it's like, damn, dude, if Prometheus can fucking do it, then like why can't I? Why can't I like give it a shot or like try at it again? So that's a big reason why I wanted to enter locals again, is I wanted to try to play against like the PR players and see where I stack and who I lose to and who I play the most often. And I was really getting into it again, and it was really splendid. But unfortunately, I seem to have like a 5 to 6 month like clock on things where I kind of rotate, like especially if it's competitive, where I kind of like mentally like get tired of it after 5 to 6 months or so, and then it fizzles out. So mid-November comes along, and I'm starting to really get tired of like the same, like the reason I got tired of tournaments before was just like going like 2-2, losing to like the same people, feeling like you didn't really get better, even though you probably did. And it was just getting really annoying, and I'm just like, I don't really want to enter. I don't know why I'm entering tournaments. Obviously, I'm not entering it for the right reasons right now, because I'm like getting annoyed or getting really salty or just whatever at every tournament that I enter, and it's like, I shouldn't be doing this. This is not how I want to spend my time. So I've been like not really wanting to enter anything. And like the last thing I entered was a Picante on December 19th that like I made myself enter because we were going to hit max entrance, we were going to hit the cap, and I'm like, I might as well at least, you know, for the culture, you know, help them hit the cap and enter and try it out. Even though I like mentally was not in a headspace where I even remotely wanted to compete, I still did it anyway, and I didn't do very well, and I didn't have a good time, and I just left the venue because I'm like, I'm done. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this again for a while, or don't know when, don't care. I'm good. Basically, what's happened is Master Duel or Yu-Gi-Oh in general has kind of overtaken me. It's replaced Melee for me for the time being, in a way. And then there's also this really awkward spot that I feel like I'm in with Ranked coming out, because the official early access release of Slippy Ranked happened on like December 12th, I believe. And it couldn't have happened at like a weirder time for me, because like if it came out like a few months ago, I would have been all over that. I would have been playing it like nonstop all the time. But like now it's kind of like I'm in this spot where I'm like not really sure if I want to compete, kind of thing, or I don't like really want to grind Melee. I want to grind Master Duel, not Melee, you know. So I'm not really wanting to play Ranked. I'm like occasionally, like here and there, I'm down to play it, but I'm not like super caring about my rank. I'm not super caring about hitting like platinum or diamond or whatever the heck. Like I'm liking watching like I think the most interesting thing to come out of Ranked for me personally is just Mech deciding to solo main Ganondorf for the next year, because he thinks that'll make his Falcon better, and it probably will, or whatever. I mean, I think it's cool. He basically his goal is he wants to get Ganondorf to be in the top 100. Like he wants to be in the top 100 next year as Ganondorf. And I think that's sick, and I definitely think he has the potential, because like his Falcon's really freaking good, and he's got really good fundamentals, so he certainly can do it with Ganondorf too. Though he won't place, I don't think he'll place as high as he did with Falcon, but like, can he get top 100 with Ganon? Absolutely he can, 100%. I am watching him, the hell out of him, and I'm going to support the hell out of him, because I think that's so sick. Like he is full faith, on board with it, everything. I love it. I'm so down. I'm so down for Mech to main Ganondorf for the next year. Like, oh, it's sick. I'm like actually looking forward to at least like spectating and watching for the next year to just watch that, because I think it's so cool. So and like I think he's literally the only Ganondorf on Ranked right now that is Grandmaster. I think every other like prominent or really good Ganondorf on Ranked right now is either Diamond 2 or 3. I don't think anyone else is at Grandmaster, at least last time I checked. There might be some that are Grandmaster now, or it's Grandmaster, right? Yeah, it's Grandmaster. There's probably one or two more that maybe are Grandmaster now, but like it's really fucking hard to hit Grandmaster as Ganondorf. He sucks, man. He's not a good character. Oh, Jesus. I still like playing the game. And like, so like the recent thing about term, so like it's I think it really is just like brackets that I just don't enjoy. I don't really like going to a like traveling all the way out to a tournament, especially when it's cold out. I already don't like traveling enough as it is when it's cold. But to like go to a tournament and playing friendlies is fine, and socializing with people, like that's like the point for a lot of people, and like I do like that. But like whenever I go to a tournament and I'm entering it, I'm really dead set focused on the tournament itself. Like I can't really mentally like balance things. Like I can't, like I don't want to like socialize while I'm also trying to focus on competing. Now if I go to a tournament and I just purely am there to just have a good time, to socialize, to shoot the shit, to play friendlies, to whatever, like don't even care about competitively anything, I'm just there purely as a spectator, yeah, that's fine. I like that. I probably should do more of that next year. But if I'm going and I'm entering, it's like I'm like laser focused on just trying to play my best or try to warm up or whatever. I'm just focused on a competitive mindset. That's just what and some people can do both. Some people can do the whole socializing thing and competitive thing like at the same time. I'm not one of those people. So if I like enter the tournament, and especially it definitely doesn't help if I'm not very enthusiastic about entering in the first place. But if I enter and I don't play very well, and it's like you lose twice and then you're done. Like that's all the competition you get. That's your competitive fill for the whole fucking day, especially because you traveled all the way out there, sometimes hours drive, and it's like, that's it. Like, you could money match people, you could ask for sets, but it's like the real competitive stuff that matters is like, you lose twice in a double elimination bracket, you're done. That's it. You're done. And it's like, I've just always had a problem with that, man. Like, that's why I like round robin and why I like Swiss, because you get multiple sets to play. You can lose more than twice and still have sets to play and play serious sets. That's always like the thing, like as a competitor, I always want to do. I want to play more sets. I don't want to just lose to a Fox and a Samus or something and then just be like, that's it, I played like shit one set and now I can't play anymore. It's annoying. I don't like that. I've never liked that. I've tolerated that for double elimination tournaments for as long as I've known, but like eventually it just gets to me, and then I'm going a whole thing where like, I don't want to enter tournaments for a bit. So that's where I'm at right now with tournaments and brackets. But as far as like playing the game and practicing, and well, I'm not really playing much. I'm not really practicing, and I'm not even playing ranked. But like, I enjoy I enjoy the practice. I enjoy the theory crafting. I enjoy the VOD analysis. I still enjoy watching other Ganons play and all that. Like, every aspect about Melee, I just don't like double elimination brackets. I don't like brackets. I don't like net played tournaments. I don't like IRL double elimination bracket tournaments. Maybe if there's a tournament that is brave enough to run round robin, I'll show up to that one, sure. That one I'll probably go to and actually enter. But until that happens and it's just nothing but double elimination brackets, it's like my enthusiasm for entering those is pretty low right now. It might change in the future. Who knows? I don't know. And then I don't even know when I'm going to want to like grind the crap out of ranked to try to get like plat or try to get like diamond or whatever the hell. Like, I'll play ranked here and there to get my competitive fix, you know, like I'll play for an hour or two and play as many sets, like, because that's one thing I like a lot about ranked that I've been used to with games like Overwatch and Master Duel, where like, if you lose, you can just queue up for another one and try again. And so if you could run into the frustrating scenario of losing like 3 or 4 or 5 times in a row, and like, then it's like, okay, now I have to take a break because it is my choice to take a break, instead of it being like, oh yeah, you lost twice, you're done, you're out of here, you can't play no more. It's like wouldn't that be stupid if like every time I play a ranked, I like forced myself to not play as soon as I lost twice? That's like dumb, right? That's stupid. Why would I do that to myself? I want to play as much as I want. I want to play as many sets as I want. I like tryharding. I like trying to win. It's fun. Like, yes, it's frustrating playing against like Fox or playing against people that like beat the crap out of you, or you making a technical error. That's the whole like shebang of it, and you just have to accept it. But like, I like playing ranked. I do want to play more of it. It's just not the forefront of things that I want to do. But it accomplishes everything. Like, I've like known for like a long time that like when ranked comes out, it's like, that's gonna fucking fill everything for me as far as competitive, just getting my competitive fix as well as I can. Like, it nails everything on the head, it's so much better than Anther's Ladder, because before the only way to get like sets was Anther's Ladder, but I had a problem with that because you had to queue up into a system where like your name showed up in a list and you were chosen as an opponent, or you didn't even need to queue up and you would just choose other people to queue up against. There was no real matchmaking. You weren't put into a pool of players and then randomly matched up with them. You got to choose. So that, because you get to choose, it's exploitable. So you could just pick silver players or whatever and be very picky about it. Like, you could like never play a floaty, and it's just like, it's kind of dumb. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that didn't want to play Anthers for that reason. Not to mention the toxicity and dumb things that people would do in the text chat, you know. It's like I get like, but like, that was the big frustration for me. It's just like, it's not a true matchmaking system. But ranked, on Slippy now is. You get matched up with whoever, and you just have to deal with it no matter what. You get matched up against a Dr. Mario and they cape you 4 times and you lose, you gotta fucking take that L, man. You know? Like, people will complain about running into Game & Watches and other low tiers and stuff on ranked, but it's like, look, I'm cool with that. Every character should get an equal opportunity to play whoever, you know, in a set. Like, you, especially if you're a competitive person, you're going to be playing all sorts of different characters. You need to be prepped for anything. So if you're like one of those people that like, I only like playing against fast fallers, I hate playing against floaties. Well, when you play ranked, you're going to run in a lot of floaties, and then it's like, now you have to learn how to play against floaties, or else you'll lose to them every single time you play them. Or you have to learn how to play against mid tiers or low tiers or whatever, you know, like, you gotta learn them eventually. And that's why when I play ranked and I run into some unconventional character, it's exciting, because it's like, ooh, someone that's good at like Samus, or someone that's good at Pikachu. Now I get to try to practice this matchup or play this matchup, because it's really interesting to me now, you know? Like, I like that about ranked. I like that so much about ranked. I don't have to worry about any toxicity with chat or anything like that. I get put into a pool of players that are also looking, and there are skilled, you know, their skill matches mine, they're very similarly skilled, you know. It's like, it is literally everything that I wanted from Melee from a competitive point of view. And it's like, it doesn't completely replace tournaments for me. Not exactly, no, not really. Maybe it makes me want to enter tournaments less for maybe only the bigger ones, kind of thing. But like, I mean, your ranking in ranked is only gonna, I mean, like, maybe it's kind of more of a generality, I guess. Like, if you're a Diamond 3 Ganondorf, you're pretty fucking good. You're probably pretty damn solid, you know? But obviously people are still gonna value tournament results over everything else. Like, your rank on ranked isn't gonna be taken into account for all that many things, and it probably should stay that way. But yeah, like, I don't think ranked is completely replacing tournaments for me. It shouldn't really. I think it's an amazing practice tool for best of threes. Like, holy moly, you just literally get to play best of threes all the time. Phenomenal for that. But it should not replace tournaments. I mean, like, maybe as like a general rule, but like, for me, yeah, it's not replacing them, but it's like, maybe tournaments will be much less of a thing, and that's kind of it. Yeah, like, it's just, and I don't have to ever worry about playing on FD either. I can just always ban FD. Oh, it's so nice. I want to play more ranked. I want to play more Melee. I do still really like playing Ganondorf. I haven't gotten tired of the character or anything. Like, sure, the character's not great, but like, there's like, I look at Mech, and I look at Epic Murloc, and I look at Prometheus and them all play, and I'm like, they're still so stupid good. And it's like, I still want to try to strive to be there. But like, the whole competitive mantra thing that I had back in like July because of watching Whiplash, it's kind of like, that's kind of faded. So, but I'm not like putting Melee I'm not putting Melee completely on the back burner. It's not something I'm stopping. I still want to be involved in the community a little bit, even if I'm just, you know, just a spectator, just a person that socializes a little bit, you know, and play it here and there. Maybe play people in friendlies, because, you know, friendly sessions are still a thing you're gonna want to do. I'm still gonna want to play people for like 30 minutes at a time, maybe to learn a matchup better, maybe to practice something. So I'm still going to play Melee, just it won't be at the forefront, because there's other things I want to do, obviously. But like, yeah, Melee is still I'm gonna be playing a lot of it in 2023. I can guarantee you that. Pretty much guarantee you that. Hopefully I'm in a much more confident place as far as like tournaments and actually competing goes the next year. But like, everything else, yeah, I think I'm good there, really, honestly. All right, so the next game is WoW Classic. I've played a decent amount of this, not a whole lot this year. I know it definitely started I'm here in Duskwood actually because it started with me wanting to learn the lore of each individual zone and area better, so that I could like, I don't know, it's just like some small thing that I kind of wanted to do, and I wanted to do it on I'm playing a Draenei priest, Shadow Priest, or I was doing that obviously because I'm not doing it now. But I was just trying to go through Duskwood do all the quests there, and then after that I kind of just wanted to play it like normal, I guess. So I played it up to the last time I played it, I was in Hellfire Peninsula because I at least got into Burning Crusade, but like, man, I'm so like detached from wanting to do anything in WoW anymore, and that's thanks to another game that I will be talking about here soon. But like, yeah, WoW is just, only times I've ever done anything with retail is to try to do something with my friend Alia, but I've still had no interest in retail whatsoever. And then as far as playing classic, it's literally just been like, I don't care about PvP. I definitely don't care about raiding. Like, leveling is like the only thing that kind of gives me some interest, and even that's kind of waned a lot. Like, I think I've only renewed my subscription like 3 times maybe, and I have not really played all that much. I know I got from level 40 to level 60. Did I hit 60? I don't even remember. That's how long it's been. I don't remember what I even freaking did, or where I like left off. I do like doing this like thing with my WoW characters where I'm leveling them. I'll take like little clips when they actually level up because I think that's pretty cool. But obviously I don't finish it until they hit max level, and I don't think I'm touching Avaletria again for ever, a long time. I don't even know. I really don't know. I don't know. Whenever I did play WoW Classic this year, it was only because it was like for a nostalgia trip and really nothing more than that. I just wanted to play a certain area that I like think about, because like some of the zones in this game still live rent free in my head. But yeah, like, it's just not the same. I can't enjoy it as a new experience. I know there's some areas like True Shot Lodge or whatever the heck it's called, that look cool, and like in retail there are like some areas that I'm like, oh, I maybe want to get to explore them, but I feel like it's just easier and better to just explore them as actual worlds in VRChat. But obviously not every zone in WoW is in VRChat, but it'd be better to just to walk through them like that instead of actually playing the game and giving Blizzard money and that whole thing. Like, no, I'm kind of over that, man. Like, I even had like some kind of like lore. Like, I kind of consider my WoW characters that I've played as like my own like little OCs, like that have like their own kind of like backstories and stuff like that. So part of me wants to continue doing that, but at the same time it's like, man, I'm more than okay with just like putting it to rest and not worrying about it anymore. And you know, because I don't remember if it was at the end of 2020 or what, but I remember I was saying something like, I'm never playing WoW again or Overwatch again or something like that, and obviously that ended up not being true. Can I not get over this? I want to get around. Let me go. Okay, there we go. Everything has a collider here. It's terrible. But yeah, like, yeah, I only really play it now for like pure nostalgia. Like even the enthusiasm that I had for trying to play Burning Crusade and like get to like Nagrand and Zangermarsh and all that is like pretty much non-existent. I like just don't care about it much anymore. Whoa, I've just zoned out. There we go. But yeah, like it's just I just don't care. I don't see myself renewing it anytime soon. I know Lich King is out, and I definitely have a lot of fond memories about leveling in Northrend and all that, and like I'd like to go back to Grizzly Hills and level in those areas just to re-experience them, but it's like I think I value like new experiences a bit more than just going on nostalgia trips. So I don't know. I don't really want to have like a send-off with the game. I think it's just fine to just let bygones be bygones and just let it be and just, you know, let the game be what it is and not worry about playing it again, because I just don't think I really care all that much. So, yeah. I used to be really into it, man. I really did. And it was fun, but like the time has come and gone, and like I said, another game has essentially replaced all my, well, I don't even MMOs in general aren't really things I like want to play, but I'll get into that later. But yeah, like that's kind of it. What else is there to say for WoW Classic? I don't think there's much. Alright, so the next game that I played for a brief period of time this year was Genshin Impact. Yeah, I played the game for a little bit to try it out, to see if I could, like, you know, actually play as and see the characters and all that, and it's pretty mid. It's not anything that special. I mean, there's certainly some cool characters that I like. Like, I like Kazuha. I like Yaimiko. I like a bunch of other ones I can't fucking remember the name of. Zhao. Like the characters are memorable. The characters are cool and very interestingly designed, but the game itself is pretty mid. It's kind of like an MMO, but it's more gacha than anything. And like the environments are really pretty and the music is really pretty. I'm not invested in the story in the slightest. I don't think I even care about it or anything. Like the quests are mediocre. I don't know. Like Genshin as a game is not anything special or worth playing again, in my opinion. I did want to at least try it. I wanted to give it some time. I guess I had some fun with like Chung. What the fuck's the name of the dude with the ice? I don't remember all their names, but like the one that like does water and then you can freeze them. That was kind of neat. You know, I guess that was a somewhat neat mechanic, but and then Yanfei. Played a lot of Yanfei because that was like the only ranged caster that I could play as, or that I pulled or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. I played Genshin for like 12 hours or something total, maybe. I don't even know. I have no way to check because it's on their own launcher kind of thing, and I have no way to even know how you would even go about looking at that kind of thing. I don't know, man. Yeah. The characters are cool. Very cool. Very, very memorable designs. Like, holy moly. Like, just awesome looking characters. Like, beautiful looking game. Beautiful looking worlds in VRChat, too. Especially that. But, like, yeah, as far as the actual game itself, it's just, I don't know, man. It's mid. It's so whatever. I really don't care that much about it. I don't even remember, like, if I had, like, all that much fun with it. It was just kind of like a thing I played a little bit maybe to relax some, but it's like, it was not very hard to decide to remove it off of my hard or my SSD to play it. So I'm like, yeah. Don't think I'm gonna touch Genshin again anytime soon at all. I don't really even care about the lore or the story. I just like the character designs, and I like art. I especially like the art of Genshin that I see. I still think Kazuha is the coolest character that I've seen. I've liked his design the most. But beyond that, yeah, I don't have any real interest in Genshin. So that's it. That's probably the last time talking about Genshin ever, to be honest. All right, so I actually have never been to this world before. This is kind of cool. So the next thing that I did in 2022 was I played a good bit of Metroid Prime. And I mostly played it because one, partially it's for nostalgia, but two, so one of my friends, Melody, that I made this year, that I commissioned an avatar for, she really likes Metroid and Metroid Prime. Like, she's like really like passionately like into like the lore of it and the game design about it and all that. And so back in like April, we would do this really fun thing where after talking about Metroid Prime a good bit, we kind of like talked about like doing speedrun racing, but it's like like there's no glitches or anything. We're just like purely trying to just get through like a certain section of the game and see who wins. And it was just like a really like casual kind of speedrun thing that I thought was like actually pretty fun to do. It was pretty neat, and I enjoyed it. I kind of miss doing it too, because that was actually kind of fun. It made me kind of want to speedrun Metroid Prime a little bit, and I even got into kind of learning the glitchless route for a bit. I wanted to try it. Oh god, I can jump really high here. I wanted to try learning it a good bit, and it was decent. It was a fun time. It was like a short little few weeks, and then there was even like the mod where I can play it with like my mouse and keyboard, and have like the Samus's weapon be in the center of the screen like Quake, and I'm like, oh, this is really cool. So I like played through a good chunk of the game. I didn't finish it, but I did play enough to where I felt like satisfied. Again, I was still really focused on the whole I was still really focused on like the speedrunning stuff for a bit. So like I started watching Justin DM, because Justin DM is like probably the best Metroid Prime speedrunner. I'm just gonna jump over here a little bit. But yeah, like it was fun to play Metroid Prime for a good bit. And it's definitely still one of my favorite games on the GameCube, absolutely. Getting to revisit it was kind of cool, especially with that whole premise of the whole speedrunning thing. But yeah, it doesn't really go much beyond that, unfortunately. I do have Metroid Prime 2 sitting on top of my Wii. And I kind of want to play that because I never finished that game. I did finish Prime, but I never finished 2, Echoes. So I want to finish that at some point. Maybe I'll play it next year. It's not really high up on the priority list or up in my backlog or anything like that, but I do have an inkling of wanting to play it at some point. So, but yeah, as far as Prime 1 goes, I mean, like, it's still a great game. It's still a phenomenal game. I could talk about, like, its design and, like, how it's aged well, and probably arguably the best, like, single-player game on the GameCube. You know? Like, yeah. That's pretty much it. I just played it a little bit in the year with a friend to do, like, speedrunning stuff, and that's kind of it. There we go. I want to explore this world a little bit more. Oh yeah, that's where the things on the ceiling are. takes me over here. Huh. I might have to explore this world later, but yeah. That's it for Metroid Prime. Not much else to say there. Alright, so the next game that I played in 2022, and it's kind of a hybrid in a way because, you know, not until October, sort of, whatever. It's Overwatch. I would play Overwatch 1 a good bit earlier on the year. Again, in April and in May, I played quite a bit of Overwatch with my friend Melody again, and Steam. And it wasn't just Melody, too. Melody was really, still is very good at the game. Very solid Echo, very good Mercy. But like I have like a bunch of other friends in that friend group. Like Steam's a really good tank player, and then there's Eden who's really good at Wrecking Ball. And we'd have a lot of fun playing like custom matches in Overwatch, and we'd queue up for quick play a whole bunch and just play normal games there. But we definitely had the most fun when we played custom matches and sometimes even free-for-alls, like on this map, for example. This map is actually one of the newer ones that came out, and it's actually pretty darn cool. So I would get on Overwatch pretty often to play it with them, and that went pretty steady for most of the year. From April all the way till like August. And then once Overwatch 2 got closer to release, it kind of waned a little bit. And ironically enough, when Overwatch 2 launched, I did play it a good bit when it launched. I got to play Kiriko a good bit, and I thought her design was actually pretty darn cool. Where like getting headshots with her does like a lot more damage and all that. And we had some like cool custom games. Or like free-for-all matches where we all played Kiriko, and it was pretty fun, actually. But it kind of faded off pretty quickly after like the first week or so. Like I don't think we've played Overwatch together as a group in like a long time, mostly because it's just been really busy, and people just haven't really had the time to do it. And it is also like really like, it's still a competitive game where you're trying to win and stuff, so yeah, like people can get like salty about like losing and things at times, and it's like, that's why I would probably be playing more like golf with your friends and stuff like that. But I don't know. For me personally, like obviously I was really into Overwatch in 2016 and 2017 and even 2018. Really into the game, but like these days, I had a small inclination this year to want to try to like get better at DPS. I had like for a short time I was like, I want to get, I've hit Diamond before as Zenyatta as support, but I've not done it as DPS, and DPS was like the next role that I thought was pretty interesting that I wanted to try to get. Or try to maybe, grind and hit Diamond with. And, yeah, well, that lasted for like a few days, couple days or so. Because I wanted to, like, just do it with McCree and Soldier, because those are easily my two best DPS heroes, because those guys are just pure hit scan. One of them, like McCree, if you just hit with headshots over and over, they like just die. Well, it's actually Cassidy now. It's not McCree. They changed his name and all that. And then like Soldier's just like steady damage and all that. And then I played Sojourn. Sojourn in Overwatch 2 is actually pretty darn fun. I do like her as a character. I think she's pretty well designed. She's a lot of fun to play as. So like there's been like some highlights and like some self-interest in Overwatch to a degree, but not like a lot, not like a ton. Like the grind, the motivation and the want to grind Overwatch never been more dry. Like, I've never felt less wanting to do that now than I had before. Like, I mean, it's felt this pretty much the same way for like a while now. Ever since I kind of like stopped paying attention or even grinding the game as a whole, I've just kind of not cared so much about Overwatch. Just in general, like not even watching content, not even watching Twitch streams or anything like that. Like, I just don't pay attention to the game at all. So obviously when Overwatch 1 was still out, like I really purely only played it with friends. And then when 2 came out, like I said, playing the game, like it felt better to play because you didn't have to worry about shields as much. You didn't have to worry about like CC, you know, like Cassidy's stun being removed was nice. Just a lot of things that like made quality of life in Overwatch 2 better overall. But as far as my enthusiasm for playing the game, it's just like, I don't know, man. It's just not there. Again, there's too many other things I'd rather play that would be more interesting and more engaging for me to do than to do that, you know? So I just can't see me really caring about all that much of Overwatch, especially of my own accord. I'd like to, honestly, like, I really did. I mean, like, I think Zenyatta is still my best hero overall, and I do still like playing as him, and like the idea of him is still pretty cool and all that. But like, yeah, the competitive itch for it is annoying because like you still have the issue with teammates sometimes. And I definitely don't want to play as tank anymore because I liked the whole playing as 2 tanks thing. Because, like, the tanks I enjoyed, I liked playing as Zarya because I liked getting my tank a bubble. And, I mean, I liked playing Rhine, but I liked playing Rhine in conjunction with playing with another tank. I mean, I just liked both of those things. So, that not being a thing makes me just not want to play tank. And then it's like, now it's just support and DPS, and I don't know. There, maybe, I mean, and then like I know like Ramatra was added in season 2. I know the whole battle pass thing is kind of like, I don't really care about it that much. It's just not like you have to unlock the new heroes through the battle pass. That is kind of stupid. But with my enthusiasm being so low about Overwatch, I kind of just don't care. Like, it's kind of just whatever to me. So a lot of games have just kind of ended up being whatever to me at the end of this year after playing them. I wouldn't be surprised, on the other hand, if Overwatch 2, I still play that in 2023. I probably will. I mean, I definitely will do it with friends. If I see friends are playing Overwatch 2, I'll probably try to join them. But playing it of my own accord, I don't know, man. It's just not interesting to me anymore. It kind of sucks. Maybe someday, but I mean, fundamentally, like the way that the game is, it's just kind of like I said, there's just other things that give you more competitive interest than Overwatch does. I do think Overwatch 2 made the health of the game overall better, and I think its future looks bright. For me personally, I don't know. I'll see about it someday, I guess. That's all I really have to say about it. All right, well, so the next game that I played is the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. So I played the original Stanley Parable long time ago, back in 2015 or something, like super long ago. But I saw a friend of mine table say that the Ultra Deluxe was amazing, and I was like, okay, I think I want to play it. So I decided to play it because there's like a bunch new content, and apparently the entire original game is like encased within it as well. But I was more interested in like the new stuff because I already had seen everything about the original Stanley Parable, and honestly, yeah, like Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe is like a really, really fun time. Like, just there's a lot of really funny moments throughout the entire thing. Like, there's some really like cool, interesting, like they make you like think existentially about some stuff. A lot of the time, I it's probably one of the most humorously interesting games I've played this year because of the narrator and all that. And it's really, really cool just for that reason. Oh man, I don't have a whole lot to say about it. I enjoyed it. I think definitely my favorite part is the infinite hole. I even have like a highlight on my Twitch channel. I think I uploaded to YouTube too. But I have a highlight of me just like experiencing the infinite hole because that was such a funny and like cool thing. Like, I kid you not, the infinite hole theme was stuck in my mind for like weeks after I was done with Ultra Deluxe. It's a theme that like makes you really like think, and it's so cool for that particular reason. Like, the score in Ultra Deluxe is just stupendous. It is so good. I like it a lot. Just like every like little like bit and like gag they do in the entire thing is hilarious. It's just great. Like, I highly, highly recommend Ultra Deluxe because Ultra Deluxe is really good. It's a really, really fun time. Oh, I can actually stand on the lift here. Does it move? I don't think it does. That's cool. But yeah, like, Ultra Deluxe is definitely I don't know, I don't want to spoil much. I've already spoiled, well, I spoiled the infinite hole, but like, it's a good time. There's just a lot of like, if you've not played it, like, play it, please. It's so fun. It's just like, I wish more games like tried to like do this funny thing with like narratives and stuff and like choice. Like, it plays with player choice like so much, and I like that a lot about the first one, and Ultra Deluxe does that even more so. So yeah, I definitely recommend it. Like, it's a whole ass adventure. It's not even just like about this office. It's like there's so much more to it in Ultra Deluxe. So whether you've played the first one or not, like, definitely play Ultra Deluxe. It's so nice. It's so nice in this closet. This ever important closet. The broom, the janitor's closet or whatever. Oh yeah. There's a lot to this game. I don't really, like I said, I don't really want to spoil it. Because, I mean, all I'm going to say is just like, well, this part is cool. This part is cool. This part may be dragged on for a little long, but this part is cool. And that's kind of it, you know? So, play the game. Play the game. It's good. I promise. It is a fun time. There's like all, like, trying to get all the endings as well too. Like, when I finish the game, like, myself, I'm like, all right, let's try to get every ending and see how many different things you can do and what you have to do to get to them all. Like, all the creative ways the player can just break the game is just like, oh dude, it's sick. It's cool. Fun game. Definitely like up there as far as like single player experiences that I have enjoyed this year. It's definitely up there. So next is Nier Automata. So I originally played Nier Automata back in like 2019. I stopped playing in 2019, April of 2019, because I'm in the Resistance camp because it's specifically here that I got stuck. Well, not exactly here, but it's more so the boss that was just outside near the ending of the spoilers, by the way. I'm gonna spoil some stuff, but at the end of near the end of the A ending, where the like big ball boss is with that shoots all the like red orbs and things, and he jumps around and is all electric and whatever. I forgot the name of him, But like that guy I got really stuck on in 2019, and I just kind of gave up and stopped playing because I got frustrated getting stuck on him. Didn't help that I had no healing items to help me throughout the battle. So, and I even like made it on easy difficulty, and it was still like pain in the ass. So I'm just like, fuck it, not playing Nier anymore. But I decided to play it some more this year because it was like, well, there was a couple people on Twitter that were talking about how like Nier Automata, a friend of mine actually, Ziff, he mentioned how like Nier Automata is like one of like his favorite games ever that had like all these great and awesome endings. And I'm like, oh yeah, I started playing Nier Automata some myself while ago, but I kind of ended up stopping. And it's like, you know, maybe I could try playing the game and get a bit more, because I was trying to play more single player stuff in the middle of this year. So like in July, I picked up Nier Automata again. I did beat the boss, though it was a bit hard for me to do, but I tried my best there, and I did eventually beat it after grinding at it for like an hour or so. It wasn't that bad, but I was able to beat that. And then not long after that boss, you have to fight Eve, who's very mad at you, and you have to like do this whole like sequence thing. And I think there's like one checkpoint halfway through the fight where if you die, you can start over there. But like that was a slog also to get through, because it just like there's like the whole platform section where you like jump up and everything, and it's just like annoying because you can get knocked off, and then like dealing damage to Eve is annoying. And then like the last part where you have to wait for 9S to actually hack him or whatever. And I was like, man, this is just annoying. But I did it, and I felt like I was accomplished when I completed the A ending and saw the A ending. I'm like, oh, okay, I can start to see like the appeal of this game. It wasn't long after I finished the A ending that one of my friends, Niani, told me, who absolutely loves this game, says that Nier Automata is like her favorite game ever. So she knows all about it, and she told me about the auto heal chips, the whole like chip system. So like not only can I auto heal outside of combat, but I can also gain healing, or I can heal myself every time I kill an enemy. So that's pretty cool. So I'm really glad that she told me about that stuff, because that made combat and that made like sections, especially in later parts of the game, way easier to deal with. Because it's just like, oh, if I just run away for like a minute, I can just heal back up to full, and then I can start attacking again without having to spend any consume any of my healing items. So that was kind of nice. That was definitely helpful. So I thank her for that. As far as how far I got in the game, I got up to like, what, ending C or something? Like the last thing I remember was all the androids like slowly dying off or something, and like I think 2B died, and then you had to play as like 2A or something. I don't remember, but like the story was getting interesting, but I just felt like it kind of dragged on still for a while. And I like the last thing I remember doing was going like to Pascal's village, and I think I was in the middle of like the two playing as 2A or whatever her name is, the one that's like all beaten up but like she's cool and badass with like the dirtied sword or whatever the hell. I'm pretty sure that's 2A. I don't actually know. Maybe it's A2. I don't remember. It's been a long time since I played the game, so I don't remember exactly. But yeah, I was in the middle of that ending part, and I just kind of like, well, I've spent enough time in this game for now. I will pick it up again some other time. I just haven't touched it again since then this year, and I don't know when I'll pick it up again. Maybe I'll try to finish it next year, or in 2023. Maybe I'll try to finish it. I'll see about that, but Yeah, I mean, it's okay. I should at least try to get to, like, the last, like, true ending or something, but not the true ending, because I've heard that that's, like, a real grind fest to just... You have to, like, max level all your weapons or some shit like that. I'm just like, I don't want to do that. I just want to get the ending that everyone else gets and see the credits and be like, okay, cool, that's the game, and just do that. But, like, yeah, Nier's been okay. I had decent fun with it, but I just moved on because it felt like it still dragged on as per usual. At least when I pick it back up again, I won't have to, like, do what I did this year and just, like, fight it like it's a Dark Souls boss without healing or whatever the hell. But yeah, that's it for Nier Automata. So the next game in what I played in 2022 was Neon White. Neon White was actually a pretty fun game that, like, came out of seemingly nowhere to me, because I wasn't aware of its existence until, like, a friend or two of mine mentioned it to me, because it's basically like this speedrunning game, and it, like, kind of, like, popularized it is like the speedrun indie game that was really cool, that had an active leaderboard system where you could compare your times to your friends on Steam, and that was really, really cool. I really super liked that. So I was still I think this was in, like, June or so, I believe, that I played Neon White. Like, I pretty much played it when it came out. And I played, like, the first set of levels. I played all of those, and I got pretty used to the mechanics early on, and almost immediately, like, I was like, oh, I want to get, like, a decent time, because I want to, like, be, like, pretty solidly up somewhere on the leaderboards, or be like, oh, how'd this person get, like, shave off another second or two on this? And I would actually grind a lot of those beginning levels, like, quite a bit, to try to get some pretty solid times. I was even really competitive with one of my friends, Ubuyo, who was playing a lot of Neon White at the time. I haven't seen them play it in a while, but they definitely put in a lot more hours and time into Neon White than I did. And I think, like, beyond the first, like, intro, like, the first world with all those levels, I didn't play much more. I think I played maybe a little bit of, like, the second one, but then I kind of just, like, hard dropped the game, and I don't even think I even intended to. I think just other things kind of took priority. And it's a cool game. Like, I feel like, I don't know why I, like, dropped it. Maybe because I was getting kind of less into speedrunning, and I'm like, I don't really want to grind it. Part of me kind of wanted to just finish the campaign, or maybe even, like, speedrun the whole game instead of just individual levels or whatever. I don't really know why I, like, stopped playing it, and why I can't find the time to try to pick up Neon White again. It's kind of, again, in that, like, weird category of, like, speedrunning games where I feel like I will definitely want to speedrun stuff again, and, like, Neon White won't be the priority. I still definitely think Quake and Diabotical will be. Quake for first and foremost, and then Diabotical, and then Neon White. Like, if I want to just play 3 speed games in one day, I could do all 3 of those. Sure. But as far as playing Neon White, like, casually, like, I don't know. It's a fantastic game. Like, if you haven't played Neon White, you should definitely play it. It's, like, one of the standout indie games of the year that I have played. One of the few actual games that I played that was released this year, not to mention. So, yeah, good. It's a good game. It's definitely really solid. I'm sure that since I've added more friends on Steam, that there's probably more people on the leaderboard that I could compare my times to. I don't know. I would like to I definitely am more enthusiastic about playing Neon White again in the future than I am Nier Automata, so I'll think about it, but I don't know. I did enjoy playing it for the time that I did. I kind of wish I played it a good bit more, but maybe it just wasn't at the right time. Who knows? But yeah, Neon White was nice. I liked it. The next game that I played in 2022 is the Pathless. Now, the Pathless was really nice because it's a game that was made by Squid Giant Squid. Yeah. The Pathless was made by Giant Squid, which is the same team that made Abzu, and that consisted of a lot of people like Matt Nava, who, originated from Journey. I liked Abzu a good bit, and so I saw the Pathless being speedran actually at SGDQ. I believe it was SGDQ. It was in the summer. It was during June. And so when SGDQ came on, I like to have it on in the background as long as I can, and like if there's a game that like catches my eye, then I'll like maybe watch some of the speedrun, and then also keep in mind, hey, maybe I want to buy that game and play it later. And the Pathless was like the first game that I saw during SGDQ this year that made me actually like want to buy it and play it. So I didn't watch a whole lot of the speedrun because I wanted to not be spoiled, because I'm like, wait, I want to just get this game and play it. So I got it, and I started playing it, I think, like a month later, not too long after SGDQ, and I ended up really enjoying it. Like, it's a really, like, chill, relaxing game. I think Austin Wintory did a phenomenal job on the soundtrack. It's really pretty. I love how whenever you unlock a new plateau, or like you do all the things and you collect the glowing symbols enough that, like, instead of it being like rainy and cloudy and all this stuff, it becomes like this sunny, beautiful vista. And I like how each plateau is like very differently themed and very differently colored and all that. The boss fights were kind of a little bit linear and obviously like not like mechanically engaging, but it's a Giant Squid game, so you really shouldn't expect that kind of thing. Like they try to keep things simple because it's more of a narrative plus relaxing experience to just play. So like, yeah, I think the Pathless just it's gorgeous. It's one of the prettiest games that I definitely played this year. Didn't release this year. It released, I believe, in 2019, actually, or 2020. And I just hadn't heard about it until this year when I saw the speedrun of it. But I'm also... So that makes me excited for the next thing that Squid Games is making, because they're probably going to talk about it at some point soon. I mean, I've been a fan of Matt Nava's ever since Journey came out 10 years ago. So I like to see whatever he does and he creates, because I think it's really, really awesome. But yeah, like Pathless, played it all the way through to the end, pretty thoroughly enjoyed it. It wasn't like super compelling. Like I didn't feel like something well up inside me or anything like that, but it was very peaceful. It was relaxing. No puzzles felt boring to do, which was really surprising. Like things were pretty simple, but they weren't like so dumb simple that I was bored by them, but they also weren't so complicated that I was like getting annoyed at how, complicated or how long it was taking to solve the puzzle. It was a really nice balance. Like I think a lot of the puzzles in the game were designed in such a way that it felt like when you completed it, it's like, oh, okay, I just connect the dots here a little bit and then it's fine, and you get the piece or whatever, or you get a thing to like make you fly higher. I really did I think one of the most fun things about the Pathless is the movement system, where you shoot arrows at these different eyes or these different things that are floating around, and it makes you move really fast. And then you can also do it while like you're flying and gliding in the air, so you can move across the areas super, super fast, and you can basically fly and glide to pretty much anywhere you want if you get high enough. Like as far as like freedom of movement, that game does it really, really well. So, and I think that was their goal for certain with the Pathless. So that one's also a really hit indie game that I played. Didn't come out this year, but it's still really good, and I still definitely very much recommend it. So yeah, play the Pathless. It's phenomenal. Great game. All right, so as you can see with what I'm wearing, the next game that I ended up playing in 2022, and still am in the progress of playing, is Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. So I originally played this game back when I was a kid in like 2006, I believe. 2006, 2007. And it has been a game that has just constantly been on my mind, like all of the time, truly. I cannot stop thinking about not just this game, but Midna as a character as well. Because I think Midna's just, oh my god, I love everything about this character. I truly do. She's this cool like imp, and I love her I love her personality. I love her. I think her voice is cute. I super like her color scheme. Like, look at these. Like this. I like black and white with like all the glowing like teal turquoise highlights. The helmet looks great. The hair's fantastic. Like, dude, it's it's so sick. I love this character. I think Midna is easily probably one of my favorite like all-time video game characters just in general, because of how significant her role is in Twilight Princess and just how nostalgic and highly I think of that game just in general. Like, I love Twilight Princess. I could gush about it for fucking ever. But I like that might that might have to be like its own video or something. But yeah, I love this game. I decided so there's a bunch of reasons why I've been playing this game throughout the year. And a lot of it has to do with, well, I think originally it was just nostalgia. Like, I just kind of wanted to re-experience the game, because I think it's just a phenomenal. I haven't played it fully all the way through in such a long time, and like I've tried starting it up a few times before, and I would never get like past the first dungeon, and I would just like do other things. But like this year I've like really made more of an actual effort to play through the game and try to actually complete it for myself, instead of just like watching videos and tons of retrospectives on it. That was kind of how things started. I did kind of just watch a lot of retrospectives. A lot of people talk about the game and how great it was or how underrated it is and all that, and I'm like, yeah, like I think Twilight Princess is a phenomenal game, especially for its time when it came out. Like, I hope it can maybe get ported to the Switch someday. I mean, that'd be cool, because the HD version's only on the Wii U, and not a lot of people play on the Wii U these days. But maybe I don't know. I would even maybe be tempted to get a Wii U myself just so I could play the HD version. But yeah, like, part of me just wanted to play it again some this year, mostly just because I was feeling nostalgic for it. And like, what else? Because I think about Midna so much as a character, I'm like, I wanted to play the game again where, like, obviously where she's from. Because, like, I've collected a lot of, like, art of her. And I'll even talk about the manga here in a bit, because that's another big part of it. But, like, I think about, like, I don't necessarily think I kin Midna like I do with Undyne, because Undyne I feel like I truly kin. Like, I feel like I am Undyne sometimes, and I do wear this Midna avatar. I've worn a Midna avatar a lot in VRChat throughout the year, especially when I'm like lying down, because like I can float. Like, it's canonically, like, it makes sense, because Midna floats around all the time, so why shouldn't she be able to float, like, while laying down or whatever? So I like to do that. And I don't mind being small. It's not like my main trait, but it's like I'll have a lot of moments where I feel like being Midna. So she's like very, very close second, like right behind Undyne. But obviously it doesn't, like, as you've seen throughout the rest of this video, I've been Undying the Undying, because that's the one that I feel like I kin more. But, like, man, is Midna, like, really up there. Like, I think as far as overall, like, lore and character and just, like what she does in the game and just, personality and everything, like, Midna might be above Undyne in that regard, especially with her legacy, and I think even more so with her recognizability, because I think more people have played or at least heard about Twilight Princess than they have about Undertale. Could be wrong about that. I don't know. Undertale's more recent, was a bigger phenomenon, but I feel like whenever I'm in a Midna avatar, I'm more easily recognized by people in VRChat than when I'm in an Undyne avatar. Like, I'll be called some, like, who's this fish person? Or like, wait, you haven't played Undertale? Wait, you haven't played Undertale? You need to play Undertale. But I haven't had that many people be like, they've never played Twilight Princess, which is weird. You would think it's the opposite, but it's not. But yeah, I just kept thinking about Midna so much that I'm like, I have Twilight Princess on my Wii. I have the game. Let me just play it again. So I've been playing it, and I do it in like short bursts. I'll play it from like 30 minutes to maybe an hour, depending on how long I want to play it. I don't typically play it much longer than that because I don't want to spend like all day just playing Twilight Princess, especially since I know everything that already happens in the game. But I did want to kind of like re-experience it, and it would kind of go on and off. Like, I'd play it like for a day, then take like a week break or something, and then I'd try to play it again. And then sometimes throughout the year, I think I like the longest time of me not playing it was like 2 months. But then like lately I've been picking it up more and more again. And I've been playing it, especially the last few months, a whole bunch because of the manga. So I got the Twilight Princess manga for my birthday. A good friend of mine, Mina, actually got first 5 volumes for me for my birthday, which I thought was really, really, really nice of him. So I read through those, and I'm like, wow, dude, this manga is so sick. I love the way that Midna is being drawn. I just love the way that all the different like story elements that are differ from the actual game, that are kind of like manga only stuff, but it's like, it's cool. Like, I like that. Like, I really think it's amazing. So so when I got all the manga, I had already in Twilight Princess, I had already gotten like past Arbiter's Grounds, and I was, I think, in the beginning of the Snow Peak Ruins dungeon. Yeah. So that was when I like started volumes 1 through 5. And then when I finished volumes 1 through 5, I had hardly played that much Twilight Princess. But I did at least finish Snow Peak, and like right when you're done with the end boss and all that, and you click the final heart piece and you zone out, like that was when I stopped playing. And I haven't played much between then and now. Like especially before Christmas, because I was preoccupying myself with, some other games that I was playing. But I got volumes of the Twilight Princess manga. I got volumes 6 through 10 for Christmas. But I don't want to read ahead in the manga. I want to experience the game first before I try to read more of the manga. So what I did yesterday, in fact, is I played Twilight Princess for pretty much an hour, and I got all the way through, like halfway through the Temple of Time dungeon. So that means when I do that, that means the next time I read the manga, I will read basically up to the part I get to in the game, or whatever chapter is closest to that, and then stop. And then, because like I want to experience it through the game first, and then I want to experience it through the manga after that, so that I can like make comparisons instead of like, because I don't remember everything that happens in the game, but I think it's kind of cool to play the game alongside the manga at the same time. So that's what I've been really trying to do. But yeah, so yeah, what else can I say about Twilight Princess? I mean, that's just kind of what I'm in the middle of. Like I said, I think the manga is fantastic. I really am looking forward to reading the rest of it. And I know volume 11 comes out in like April of next year, the English one, obviously, because the Japanese volume 11 is already out in Japan, but in the US or the English release has not happened yet. It will happen earlier next year though, so I'm hoping to be done with Twilight Princess and to catch up fully on the manga before that drops, so that like when it does, I just immediately get it, because I'm looking really, really forward to it. Also, something else that I've been doing alongside reading the manga it doesn't really have anything to do with the progress that I've made in the manga, but something that I've been doing as a hobby is I have been drawing Midna in my sketchbook. I have a sketch pad with like pencil and all that, and I've been using the drawings or just I've been using the manga as a reference, and I've just been eyeballing it like real hard. But it's been really good practice because I wanted to draw like Midna a lot more and get used to like all the details on this really freaking, look at how detailed this fused shadow helmet is. Like there's so much, and like I want to see like how Akira Himekawa breaks down that detail in like further away shots, like if I'm all the way back here or something. But yeah, like I wanted to draw her a bunch because I think she's just super cool, and I absolutely love and adore every single like piece of fan art of Midna that I see, especially like doujins, especially like whole like comic strips and stuff like that. Like, oh, I eat that stuff up so much. I love it. I love like the wholesome content. I like Midna Link ship. Like I like even Midna Zelda ship is fine. Like I like pretty much all the ships. I love these characters like so much. So anytime I get to see media that portray them, it's super awesome. So I'm really just super thankful that the Twilight Princess manga is like still kind of ongoing, and it's almost done. So like it's about a video game that's like 16 years old. It's a 16-year-old video game that's getting a full 11-volume manga adaptation, and that is so cool. It is probably arguably my favorite video game of all time. I still am not 100% sure. Like there's a whole discussion that could be had about like what my favorite game of all time is, but like Twilight Princess still absolutely should be very, very close to the top. It's so good, man. Gosh. And I mean, this place included like Arbiter's Grounds. I love the mood of it. I love the feel of this dungeon. And Snow Peak Ruins too. That's another really good one. God, man, like, and I'm only like halfway through the game. I still have like the end part, like, oh man. What else can I say about Twilight Princess? I'm going to be playing more of it. I do want to finish Twilight Princess in 2023, and I will talk about it again next year, I'm sure. I love Midna as a character. How many more times do I need to say it? Like, yeah, like, Twilight Princess is great. It's so good. I am enjoying every minute of playing it, because what's also really nice is like, because I don't play it on my computer, I play it on my Wii, I play it on my nice big CRT with my couch, and I can even like plug in my headphones into my TV, so it just sounds great, looks great, and it's like almost like a meditative experience. Like I just like playing games on the Wii like that is just, I kind of miss that. I kind of missed having that like away from the computer experience of playing games where there's like nothing to distract you. So that's another big reason why I've like tried to make a habit of playing Twilight Princess more often than not. So yeah, that's my spiel on Twilight Princess for 2022. All right, so the next game that I ended up playing in 2022 is Halo 2. Not a whole lot that I did with the game. I think part of me was inspired to play a good bit of Halo 2 again, mostly because of the Moist Critical Challenge that happened like halfway through the year, where you try to beat the game on Legendary with all skulls on except for Envy, deathless completely. That was a very interesting challenge to watch people like attempt to do throughout the entire time. I obviously didn't want to try to do that challenge because that seemed really, really freaking hard, but it was really fun to watch like really good people do it, especially Jervelin, who ended up actually completing the challenge and getting the like huge bounty. It was $20,000 bounty, right? Like, That's an incredible bounty to try to complete a video game challenge, but it was tough. But if there was anyone that was gonna definitely do it, it was Jervelin. That's for sure. I mean, even like seeing like how the different skips were found, like the prison skip that was found that like worked and was consistent. That was so sick. That's how we knew it was close to being done. So I was kind of inspired by that. I'm like, huh, I kind of miss playing Halo 2. So I played a bit of it, and I mostly just wanted to play through it again to I actually had not seen all of the remastered cutscenes for the Halo 2 anniversary. So I wanted to play through Halo 2, and I also wanted to play co-op. So I ended up playing the entirety of Halo 2. Did we play it on Legendary? I think we played it on Heroic. I don't think we quite played on Legendary. We played it on Heroic, I think, with a bunch of skulls on to make it like really fun and really silly. Like one of the skulls, I think the skull that made the most impact on our gameplay when Melody and I were playing was the one where like one person has like unlimited ammo and can shoot, but they have no shields, so they can't have their shields recharge. But I also had Black Eye on as well, so you could punch things, and if you killed them with a melee attack, then you could recharge your shields that way. And that was really that made for a really fun skull as well. But yeah, so you had one person that had unlimited ammo, but their shields like didn't recharge normally, and then the other person had like overshield that did recharge, but they could only melee, like their weapon didn't work, and it would alternate once there was enough, like every once in a while when like enough kills were completed. So that was a lot of fun for just that. And then I had like low gravity and stuff, so like when you shot like a rocket launcher at something and it would blow something up, it would just like fling things everywhere. It was really fun, and I'm glad I got to do it and kind of re-experience Halo 2, because I think it's like one of those kind of timeless classic games. I do still think about quite often, probably not as much as I do Twilight Princess, but I do think about Halo 2 quite a bit. I still watch people speedrun it here and there, and have fun with it. I don't really care much about multiplayer, really. I care more about the story of the campaign or speedrunning than really anything else. Just because I think the multiplayer I've just kind of done over and over countless times, and yeah, I'm kind of like again, like my competitive interest is just in other games for the time being, or for a while now, so haven't really cared too much about Halo in that kind of way. But yeah, getting to see all the really cool cutscenes in Halo 2 Anniversary was pretty sick, and playing through it as a co-op experience was really nice. I'm glad I did it for the time that I did, and we did end up finishing it, and it was just fun all around. Like I definitely recommend like going through on the Halo Chief Master Chief Collection, and just playing it multiple, like playing it with someone else, doing the co-op. It's a really good time, honestly. Or maybe even try like speedrunning. I was thinking about speedrunning Halo 2 a little bit, but it's like, I mean, after my whole like talk about how like I'm not really into speedrunning right now, and how if I did get back into it, I'd want to do like Quake and all that. So, oh, the world just ends here, huh? Oh, well, so much for that. But yeah. So I thought about Halo 2 speedrunning, but it's like, I'm just gonna watch people for now. Like, I mean, I'm very familiar with like how the speedruns work and where to go and what to do, and like the small like tech and stuff like that. And people, it's nice that like the active runners are still playing and actively, and I can still watch them on Twitch and all that. But yeah, I really only played Halo 2 this year to do some co-op and have some fun with it. It was just it was like a spur of the moment thing, / also inspired by the Moist Critical Challenge thing too. Yeah, that's really about it. That's all I did with Halo 2 this year. All right, so the next game that I played in 2022 was Solar Ash. this was another game that I saw during the SGDQ marathon this year. Not long after watching the Pathless, I saw Solar Ash, and it caught my attention because of its movement mechanics, and especially because of its color schemes and how bright and colorful and cool looking the game looked. And so I'm like, that looks like an interesting game. I'll put it on my list, and I look forward to playing it. So I ended up getting to that game not long after I finished the Pathless. It is also, unlike the Pathless, it's only on the Epic Games Store, so I had to get it off the Epic Games Store and play it that way. But I got it, and I played it for a decent amount, but unfortunately, I did not finish playing the game, because at first, I did kind of enjoy it. I kind of liked the setting of it, and the world building's actually pretty decent in it, like off the gate, out of the gate. And some of the platform puzzles felt kind of neat and cool. But very, very quickly, especially after I finished the first two areas, the formula of the game became very apparent to me. And to know that there were 6 areas total or something, where you go around, you find the different platform puzzles to stab it in the eye and unlock. I don't remember what it was. You have to do you collect these things? You have to do enough of these things to where the boss, the boss of the area comes out, and then you fight it, and then the area is liberated, and then each area has a whole bunch of side quest items that you can if you find and discover enough of these, you get an item or something. And those side quests had some lore to them that I thought were pretty cool. And so that idea, in the first couple areas, I'm like, cool, this is definitely pretty neat. But then when I as I got to some of the later areas, I realized, wait, this really is just the same formula every single time, and it never really deviates. The only real difference in gameplay, or the only real difference, is just the environments and how they look. So I started to get kind of bored, and the game started to feel a little bit stale after a bit, with how much it was just repeatedly doing this kind of formula. And I quickly kind of stopped feeling invested in the story, because it felt kind of one-dimensional. It didn't feel like it was some kind of the world building was decent, but it there really needed to be a lot more for me to feel personally invested, especially attached to any of the characters or anything in there. I don't even remember a lot of the characters, or really any of the characters' names, unfortunately, because that's how it did something kind of decently, but there's a lot of parts that it didn't do. Now, however, there is one area that I went to in Solar Ash that I really, really liked. I super, super liked the vibe of it. I've forgotten the name, but the description of the place is it's the one that's dark, where the side quest is you have to go to certain parts of the map, and you have to remember this saying. You have to remember this riddle or whatever, and say it correctly back to them, and I think you have to do it for all 3 or 4. I don't remember how many it was in that area, but it's the dark one, and it's also the one where I think you're introduced, or maybe that's just that area, but it's the one where you're introduced to the spore parts, where there's the green, I think it's just there's blue, red, and yellow spore cloud puzzles. I thought those were pretty neat. I liked the aesthetic of that area a lot. Even the boss was actually probably all the bosses were pretty mechanically the same. I don't think any one boss stood out from another. Maybe by design, I think one of them was pretty cool looking, but that was probably about it. Mechanically, they were all virtually the same. But that dark, gloomy area was ooh, this is cool. I wish the game was a lot more like this. And then the area immediately after that you go to is this huge, wide open, like sky rail, like you're climbing all the way up through the sky, and there's hardly much environment around. And like that was just the intro to the area. Once you actually get to the big area, it's like, oh hey, look, there's the big boss dude in the distance, this big Goliath guy, and you gotta, you know, do your puzzle things to unlock fighting him. And it's just like, really, it is still the same formula yet again. And it's like, I mean, this area, and that was the one with like the acid water, where like if you're in it for too long, you have to respawn back at a checkpoint or something. That area, I don't know, it just didn't captivate me like the previous one did, like the dark, gloomy one did. Like I liked that theme, I liked the lighting of it. I wish there was more than just that one area, but I understand that like each area is like very distinctly its own thing. That's perfectly fine. It's just kind of a shame that like that last area that I was in is just kind of like, yep, I'm tired of doing the same formula. This area isn't as interesting to me as the previous one, so I'm just gonna drop the game. That was like in early September as well, so it's a bit unfortunate, like, because I know after that area was done, I think I had like 2 more to do, and now I'm just like, dude, I really don't want to keep doing the same formula over and over and over again. So like, yeah, unfortunately Solar Ash was just a little bit disappointing for me personally. I mean, I could still recommend the game for sure, but it's not like up there with the other ones that I really enjoyed this year. You know, as much as I hate to say it, it's a beautiful looking game. The movement mechanics are actually pretty fun, pretty satisfying. The characters were at least somewhat interesting. They weren't like a bore or anything, so oh well. Just gotta let bygones be bygones with that one. I tried it, at least gave it a fair shot. It's fine that I dropped it. It's not that big of a deal, but yeah, don't think I will try to finish it anytime soon or anything like that. All right, so the next game that I played in 2022 is none other than Stray. This is just wow. Is this game truly something? I love Stray. It is such a phenomenal indie game. Like, holy moly, is it. Like, I know I've been talking about like pretty indie games that I've been playing throughout the year, but like, does Stray take the freaking cake? Unbelievably so. It is so beautifully, just absolutely gorgeous, absolutely colorful, absolutely like intuitive with its like I think the only one thing that Stray does not have compared to the other pretty indie games that I played this year is just movement mechanics. I think that's like the only real thing, because like Pathless had really awesome movement mechanics, and Solar Ash even had pretty decent movement mechanics, and Stray was just kind of like, you just play as a cat that can like sprint through areas and stuff like that, and like it wasn't like super intuitive, like you just, you know, like you can just move through the area as a cat just fine. You can hop up like to roofs and things pretty easily, but there wasn't like anything substantial about the movement. That's the only thing. Like the music, the story, the pacing, the different environments that you get to see and get to interact with, the puzzles that you do, the characters you interact with. My God, I took so many screenshots. So many screenshots while playing Stray, because of just how gorgeous the game is. My God, like, if it wasn't pretty clear already, this is easily like, of the games that I played that came out this year, which literally is like 2 literally like 2 or 3 games, but like easily of the games that I played that released this year, Stray is the best one. Stray is the best one. There's just nothing that comes close, really. Like, And I love how it was like nice and short too, and it ended on a really nice note. As well, I'm not gonna spoil a single thing, but like, God, dude, Stray, it just like I like almost want to replay it again because it's just it's it's such a nice feel good indie game to play that's just super colorful, super. Oh my God, man. I feel like I'm kind of like jumbling my words a bit because I can't go. I would like to go into more detail on exactly why. I don't want to spoil things and I don't want to go on about it for too long, but like Stray is just like, and especially if you're into cats, play this game, please. It's so good. I'm not even a cat person, and I still enjoyed the hell out of it because like the appeal of the game was just all this colorful environment and everything. It just, oh, it's so good. It's so pretty. It's so freaking pretty. It's so good for that reason. I cannot stress it enough. I really can't. Like, almost immediately, like when it released and it came out and I saw people were playing it on Twitch, like a lot of people were playing it on Twitch, I'm like, man, this game is so freaking pretty. I'm putting this on my list. I'm putting this on my immediate backlog, and I'm playing this game like really soon. And when I started playing it, every single time I stopped playing it, I wanted to like play more of it. Like there would be some times where I would play for maybe only like 30 minutes at a time, 30 minutes to an hour at a time, like I do with a lot of games. But like, I never felt like I got bored with how things progressed. Like maybe some areas were slow, but that like wasn't like a bad thing at all by any means. It just like there was never a point where I felt like things got stale or stagnant or I got tired of something or burnt out on something. Like no, it was paced well, nice short sweet game, great soundtrack, great like just so many moments that like stick out to you and are just you are memorable in the game. Like I added multiple songs from the soundtrack to like my Spotify playlist and things like that. Like Stray is great. Stray is good. It like absolutely deserved to win Indie Game of the Year. I think that it won that at the Game Awards. Any award that it gets, it absolutely has earned. It is so good. I want to play it again at some point. It's so stinking good. I love Stray. God, I love Stray. That like one of the best games I have played this year. Abso-freaking-lutely. Oh, it's like the perfect indie game. Like gorgeous, doesn't take up much of your time, filled with like things to do and it doesn't feel like it's like a chore, and it's not like super RPG oriented. It's just like a nice like little adventure. And it's simplistic. Like you don't have to learn about like there are some characters that you even get to like learn and personalize with, but you're still like going through this like grand adventure thing. It's just like, oh, I just love that. I can't stress it enough. It's so good. Stray is just this beautiful touching game. I will even say that like the ending pulled at my heartstrings a little bit, like made me tear up a little bit. Like just 10 out of 10 out of fucking 10. Great game. Oh my God, I really cannot stress it enough. This game's good. This game's so good. Stray will like be remembered like well past just this year. I freaking love it. And a little mention about this world. This isn't technically a Stray world, but it is District Roboto that was made by Finns, and it was very heavily influenced by Stray. This map released earlier this year, but Stray itself didn't come out till like August or so. But there were like trailers of it and all that stuff, and God, dude, it's so fucking good. I'm just gonna repeat myself. It's like everything that I would want in a nice short indie adventure game, Stray did exactly that. Stray 100% nailed it. Fucking nailed it. Just like perfect. You know, like so freaking good. I can't say much more. I'm just gonna sound like a broken record. Play it. Play Stray. Do it now. Buy the game. Play that freaking game right now. If there's any one game I will recommend 100% that does not take up a lot of your time at all, and it's not even that much. It's like I don't know. Is it like 30 on Steam at most? It might even be cheaper than that. It's like I don't think I've enjoyed an indie game like that since maybe Hollow Knight. I don't know. Hard to say, but Stray game of the year. Game of the fucking year for me. Hell yeah. All right, so the next game that I ended up very much getting into in the year of 2022 is Final Fantasy XIV Online. I definitely have to give ultra props, and I definitely omega props to my friend Alia for constantly begging me practically to play this game and get into 14 to experience it so that she can talk about it with me. Because I mean, I've been friends with her for a while, and there's been just countless times where I'll be in voice chats with her and she'll talk about 14 and what she's been doing in Final Fantasy 14 and getting through the Endwalker content and all that, and she's always like, oh, I want to talk about this thing, but it's a spoiler and I don't want to spoil anything for y'all because I want y'all to play this game. And just like after talking about it like so much and just absolutely convincing me, like eventually it ended up working. Like she 100% convinced me to get the game and play it, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'll play it so I can hang out with you and do RP and stuff. I don't know how invested I'm going to get into it, but I'll see. I'll give it a shot. I'll try it out. And well, now I recently checked, and I have put in over a week of gameplay time into this game. Yeah, so God. So it started when I started playing 14 this year. It started with me just getting it and creating an account and creating a character and all that, just purely because Alia wanted me to RP with her and her friends in the game. And I'm like, you know what? Sure, fine. I'm fine with that. It's a big download size, like it takes up a lot of space on my computer because I don't have terabyte hard drives or terabyte SSDs. But I'm like, sure, yeah, I'll go in and RP and just try it out, give it a shot. So back in like June, especially because it was around her birthday and all that, I did like a little bit of RP. I made a Rogadin character, and just kind of like I was like brand new. Everything was overwhelming. I was like, what do I even do? I like had no idea how to play the game. I really had to have my handheld like so much. Like if I didn't have my friends to help guide me and Alia to help guide me like to play the game, I would probably have dropped it very quickly. But I'm glad I didn't. I'm glad I did not drop it because boy, it's been an adventure. But yeah, it started off with me just wanting to play it because of the RP and wanted to at least try to participate in that and like just try it out. At the same time, I wasn't getting into like leveling. Like she wanted me to level my character, so she would like help me get from like level 10, because I know in one of the RP areas that we had, I had to like, I think it was the lavender beds, I had to be at least level 10 to get into the lavender beds. So like I got boosted basically to level 10 so that I could, you know, do that and join the RP, and that was decent. But then like I don't remember exactly what prompted me to I guess because like she constantly was talking to me about the story of 14 and how like she's like, you can probably just skip A Realm Reborn because A Realm Reborn's not that good, and it introduces you to a bunch of the characters and things, but like you could probably skip that. And I'm like, you know what? I trust you. You're very passionate about this game. I'll take your word for it. I'll skip A Realm Reborn. Because I'm like, well, I'm kind of interested in a good story. And like, I've constantly heard about how Final Fantasy XIV has a really, really good story. So I might as well try it out. Sure, let me play the main story quest, or the main scenario quest, MSQ, if you will, and see where it goes. So one of the first things I did is I bought the Realm Reborn skip, but I didn't buy a level boost, so I still needed to level my character. And it wasn't until I actually wanted to start playing more of the story in September. So like, I played it for a bit to RP in June, and then I kind of like stopped caring about it after a bit. And it wasn't until after I finished Stray that I'm like, now I really want to get into 14 and I want to play its story. And you know, like that was just kind of like next in line for me. So when middle of September came around, I'm like, all right, so what do I need to do? I don't want to level. I don't want to take all this time to like level through because I've already skipped the MSQ. I need to go to Ishgard. And to do that, I needed to spend more money, of course, giving all my money to Yoshi P. I had to spend more money just so that I could boost my character to, you know, because like Endwalker is the current expansion and that content is level 90, and then Shadowbringers is level 80. It'll boost you all the way up to level 80. So, but I had to choose a job, and I'm like, I don't care what job I get, just pick something. I picked at random summoner. So I'm like, fine, make me a summoner. I just need to just boost me to level 80 so I can start like doing this content and experiencing the story. So I get that and do this whole thing, and so I just jump right into Heaven's Ward, and wow, what a great first expansion to get into. Holy crap. Like, wow, Heaven's Sword does so many things. Like, it introduced me to a lot of really cool characters that I like. Like, easily one of the most standout characters that I super like. His design, his just outfit and everything, like especially his voice, is Amric. Amric in Ishgard. Just all of his, like, how much of a lead role that he played in Heaven's Ward is just like, God, I love that dude. He's like easily one of my favorite characters in the game right now. Holy crap, I love Amric. I like him so much that what I ended up doing is I ended up buying his outfit. Alia told me that not only can I buy his outfit, but I can change my race to an Elven. And so I changed to an elf. I changed from a rogue to an elf. Just so I could like look a little bit more like Amric, but still look like, you know, my own character. And that's what it's been ever since. But like, oh man, I even have like the mini Amric running around, like the little like figurine that little minion that follows you. Like, gosh, man, it's great. Amric is fantastic. I absolutely love Kryl. Kryl's another one of my like favorite characters. I think she's just so cool. I like her outfit. I like her design. I like her voice a lot. I like what she does in the story, like how prevalent she is, and I'm sure I've heard about how like she does things in Endwalker, and I'm looking forward to getting to that. But like Kryl's another one of my favorites. I think Nanamo is also another one of my favorites, simply because so when I started doing the story with Heaven's Ward, there was a bunch of stuff that was like being talked about, like, oh, the Sultana is like asleep, we need to wake her from her slumber. And I'm like, what did I miss in A Realm Reborn? So I got curious about that, and I decided to go on YouTube to look up, like, you know, what happened at the end of The Realm Reborn. or like I had heard about like, okay, well, the Sultana people thought that she got poisoned, but it wasn't a poison, it's a sleeping potion sort of thing. You find that out in Heavensward. But in A Realm Reborn, that cutscene where I'm going to be talking about a bunch of spoilers, by the way, but that cutscene where Nanamo drinks the wine and she like chokes on it and like is sent to sleep, or it looks like she dies, is like, whoa, like, holy shit, that's how A Realm Reborn ends? What the I like watched like all the like cutscenes of like how A Realm Reborn ends, and I'm like, wow. So like this is what happened to Minfilia and Thancred and Y'shtola and all that stuff. Like, what? That's cool. That's so just like, okay, like, I mean, maybe I skipped a lot of boring stuff in A Realm Reborn, but I'm like, dang, I kind of wish I didn't skip that the ending of A Realm Reborn, but it's fine. It's not a big deal. Nanamo is another one of like my favorite characters, especially like kind of recently with what I encountered in Stormblood. Just fuck, dude. There's a lot of characters I really like. Like, I think they're developed and created in such a marvelous way. Like, I'm really blown away by like how nice Final Fantasy XIV is. I really am. It's like shocking to me. I'm like, I didn't expect it to be like this good. Like Heavensward really set a precedent of how Final Fantasy XIV is probably going to feel, and it's like, oh well, if I think Heavensward is this good, then it's like, wait until I get to Shadowbringers and Endwalker, you know? Like, I keep being told that. So I mean, I liked Heavensward so much that at some point I want to go back to Ishgard and I want to do all the like side quests. I want to get all the content that I missed in Heavensward, because I like the environment so much, and I'm just, oh, it's so good. It's actually really good. So I finished Heavensward, I want to say sometime in October, and because like Heavensward actually took quite a while. Like, I was playing 14 like daily just to try to get through the MSQ, and it felt like Heavensward took quite a while to finish. So then I get to Stormblood, and a lot of people say that Stormblood is not as good as Heavensward, or like it's the only expansion that people have been kind of on. And I can definitely kind of agree with that, especially like the first, like the main scenario quest, the main stuff in Stormblood was kind of I wasn't like crazy. I think definitely the really large focus on Lys was probably the biggest reason why a lot of people didn't like Stormblood all that much. And I mean, I can understand why. I don't find Lys to be that interesting of a character in the first place, unfortunately. So like the fact that there was such an enormous emphasis on her, and especially with like how Heavensward ended, like I didn't care too much about the Warrior of Darkness stuff, but like how it went from Ida to Lys, and that thing was kind of like, huh, okay, I mean, I guess this is happening. But then like the just humongous focus on Lys is like, well, I didn't find this character that interesting to begin with, but to have like an entire expansion where she's like one of the lead characters is kind of I thought the Azim Steppe part in Stormblood was like the slowest and most sluggish part. Like that was definitely a slog to get through, to try to just experience it and just get through the MSQ. It took me a while to get through just because it was actually quite boring. But I'm like, I gotta get through it. I gotta get through this part because it might just be a slog now, but I'm sure it gets better later, especially because I wanted to legitimately get to Shadowbringers. I wanted to keep trying to get through it. And then Xenos as an enemy, like this big antagonist character, is pretty cool. I don't think Xenos is like super interesting, but he's not bad. not bad by any means. And I'm like, okay, I can get behind like why this villain's like pretty cool for some people. So, and then like defeating him at the end of the main quest in Stormblood's like, all right, cool. Well, I mean, I guess that's that. Sure. But otherwise, like the main like the first half of Stormblood's kind of like, whatever. I could probably do without doing that again, to be honest. But I will admit, Stormblood vastly improved in the second half. Like the patch content or the post main scenario quest content for Stormblood, oh man, it got so much better. Like the stuff about Nanamo and Rauban was awesome. That like brought me to a tear. I was like, damn, like I really feel for these characters. Like holy shit. And just like I thought Lord Hien was like not that interesting of a character, but like as more of the post, like the patch content for Stormblood that I played through, I'm like, okay, I'm starting to like Hien a bit more. And then especially, I think my favorite dynamic of Stormblood is between Gosetsu and Yotsuyu, because those two, just like that was like special. I really liked what they did with those two characters, and it ended in such a like tragic kind of way. I couldn't help but feel bad for her. You know, you feel like sympathetic. You feel like empathy even towards Yotsuyu at the end. It's like having sympathy for the villain is like, it's a powerful thing. And it's like they did it like so freaking well. God. And it's like, and Stormblood's not even the best expansion. Stormblood's not even close, apparently. And it's like, oh, geez, man. So, needless to say, I'm quite invested in the story of my own accord. Like, once Heaven's Ward really got kicked off and was in full swing, and I'm like, I'm on board. I like these characters. I like where the story is going. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm definitely super down to just see this story all the way through to the end, because holy moly, is it it's very interesting, and there's a lot of music pieces in it too that I very much like. So yeah, gosh. So where I have left off is I've pretty much like completed all the Stormblood content. I did all the main scenario quest or all the post patch Stormblood content. I did all that. So all that's completed. I did the last quest where you talk to Taru and she gives you another Scion outfit, which I think that's kind of neat, how like the end of each expansion you get like a new outfit. So I'm assuming at the end of Shadowbringers I get another outfit or something. Which I'll find out in time, obviously. But yeah, like, oh man, I'm glad. So like, Heaven's Word was fantastic. Stormblood, bit of a rocky start, but it ended really well. And it's just like, what do I have to look forward to with Shadowbringers? I'm stoked. Honestly, I truly like cannot wait to start I'm literally starting Shadowbringers like tomorrow or maybe later today. I don't know, but like, fuck, I really want to start playing it. I want to know what happens next. Like the way that like the cliffhanger like ending of Stormblood makes it so interesting. And of course, one of the characters that Aelia constantly fucking talks about more than any other character in the game is Emmett Selk, and I'm getting to learn about him. Like, I got teased him a whole bunch at the end of Stormblood, and I got to see like how his character is. I'm like, okay, he's an interesting ass motherfucker. There's still some things I don't fully know about him quite yet, and I'm sure I'll learn a lot more about him in Shadowbringers, but I'm like, okay, I can start seeing the appeal of this guy. He's gonna be a character for sure. And like Alias has told me numerous times, like, you're gonna love Elmet. Not Elmic. You're gonna love Emmett Selk. You're absolutely gonna love Emmett Selk. And I'm like, oh, I'll see when I get there. And it's like, now that I've even just gotten like a taste, it's like, oh, you're right. I think you're totally right. I think Emmett might be one of my favorite characters. And I haven't even started Shadowbringers yet. It's not fully there yet. It's not fully there like it is with Amric and with Kryl and with Nanamo, but in due time, especially with how like introducing him and building him up as like this fucking top level Ascian that like you hadn't even heard of until the end of Stormblood is like, whoa, okay, this is cool. This is pretty sick. So, oh man, I truly like just want to play 14. I want to get through I've finished Stormblood. I wanted to get through Shadowbringers, and then of course I want to get through Endwalker, just cause like I just keep hearing about how good it is, and I want to play it. Oh, like I'm very, very, very much anticipating it. Even though like it's stuff that came out like Shadowbringers came out in 2020. Endwalker I think came out at the beginning of this year, so there won't be another expansion till what, 2024 or something. Though I think post patch content for Endwalker will be sometime in 2023, I'm sure. But again, I won't worry about that. I'm looking super, super duper forward to Shadowbringers. Cause like another thing is like when I started playing VRChat, ever since I started playing VRChat, there's been a couple of Final Fantasy XIV worlds that I've been to, and I had no interest or attachment in the game whatsoever. I'm just kind of like, well, I don't think I'm ever gonna play 14, so like, I don't like, you know, this place looks cool, but I don't think I'm ever gonna play 14. And like, yeah, now here I am, like, super invested into the game, invested into its story probably more than any other story that I have been in like a very, very long time. Yeah, it's God. So there's a couple of worlds in VRChat that are Final Fantasy XIV maps, and I'm pretty sure those are maps in like Shadowbringers and maybe even Endwalker. Because I'm like, I haven't seen this city yet. And I'm like, okay. It's like not really a spoiler because you're eventually gonna get to that place, and it's like, man, I cannot wait to get to that place in the actual game where all the NPCs are and the game just feels alive and all that. Because it's like, because I already like the city being empty as it is in VRChat, so I can only imagine how good it gets. Once I get to it in the game. So like I said, I'm excited. I'm really excited to play more 14. So earlier when I was talking about WoW Classic and how like you know, another game has basically replaced any kind of MMO for me, like, yep, that's 14. That's Final Fantasy 14 for me. It is completely replaced WoW. I like don't give a shit about WoW anymore. Like not even like for nostalgic value. I'm like only playing 14, and I'm not even like treating 14 like an MMO. I'm still treating it more like a single player game, where I'm just all I really mostly care about is the questing, and just getting through the story, getting through the MSQ. I don't really care much about raids. I don't really care about like the mechanics of like the summoner and all that. Like I just cast my spells and I just down the raid boss. I don't care. Just give me the lore. Give me that sweet lore. Give me that story, you know? Like I'm just eating it up. I can't get enough of it. Like, oh man. I really want more of it, and I'm so excited that I'm like at some of the best parts coming up. So I'm shivering with anticipation, quite practically. Yeah, so like I know there's so much more to the game. Like I know a lot of people do RP. I'm not really into RP, you know, anymore. I tried it. It's not really a thing for me. I don't really like doing it. I like maybe spur of the moment, sure, I like doing little bits of RP here and there, but I can't like dedicate myself to doing it all the time like some people can. But like and like I said, I'm not treating it like an MMO. Like I'm not caring about like leveling or attributes or like talent points or skills or whatever, like mana pool, rotation. I don't really care about all that stuff. I just care about it for the story. So, but yeah, like I'm just looking forward to seeing what happens next, because whoo, it's really good, man. It's really good. Like I'm I'm ashamed of myself for being such a doubter. I'm glad I'm not a doubter. That it's good. It's really good. Thanks, Alia, for getting me into the game. I'm hooked. I'm fucking hooked. Best recommendation all fucking year as far as like getting me into a game. Oh yes. So yeah, I like 14. I like Final Fantasy 14 quite a good bit. Top like 3-4 games I've played this year, easily, somewhere up there. I don't know if Stray beats it or not. I mean, it's just been phenomenal. It's been such a fantastic time. I'm looking so forward to Shadowbringers. I can't wait. I just want to play more. I just want to play more. Oh, yes. I don't have much more to say. Oh. So then the next game that I played in 2022 for a little bit is Risk of Rain 2. I kind of got interested in what made me want to play it. I think for one, it had been like introduced to me or like in my mind like a couple times, I think, from other friends. Like there's multiple different friends of mine that have recommended that game and wanted to play it like for years, really. Like I've known like several friends, even IRL friends, that like have played Risk of Rain 2 and loved the hell out of it. But what made me want to play it this year was, I think, like, I don't even think another friend of mine gifted it. I think, and that friend being Table. I think Table like wanted to play Risk of Rain 2 with me or something, and I'm just kind of like, sure, I'll give it a shot. Like I think maybe, did I like watch gameplay of it enough or something to where I'm like, you know what, maybe I will give it a try or something, and I'll try it out and play it. And actually, what's funny is Table wasn't even the first person I played it with. I think the first person I played it with was with my friend Tylenol, because I know he played a lot of it for certain. But like I played I did like a good few runs in Risk of Rain 2. I got like a handle of like how the game is played, and like the first character I picked was the Huntress, and I liked her just because she's the only one that has red on her, but like mechanically she was actually kind of fun to play. And I get how, like, why people like Risk of Rain 2, because it's roguelike per, you know, you do like a run and it gets progressively harder as it goes on, but you also collect items that stack over time and make you more and more powerful. So by the time you hit like the way later levels, you're jumping around, moving really fast, and like having all these like bonus attributes and things. And like, okay, I get the appeal of it. It's very arcadey. It's quite movement based. It's like a shooter thing, but with a bunch of numbers flying and flinging everywhere with a bunch of cooldowns. Like mechanically, gameplay wise, very, very satisfying to play. I think Risk of Rain's pretty darn fun. Like I get it now. Like years later after Risk of Rain 2 came out, I'm like, oh, okay, I see why people like Risk of Rain 2. Hell yeah, I fuck with it. Sure, yeah, fun game, definitely fun. I just haven't put much time into it because I kind of only played it with other friends. It's not really a game that I wanted to play on my own. I kind of only wanted to play it with friends of mine, and I just haven't asked that many people to play it with, and I kind of just, I guess, forgot to like ask people to play it with and all that. But yeah, I think like the two characters that I found interesting were the Huntress and Artificer, I believe is the second one. Beyond that, I'm like, the characters are the other characters definitely like have their interesting attributes or interesting things, but I'm like, I think Huntress and Artificer are the coolest looking ones, for me personally. And like, I don't know, I just think that it's a really like fun game to play with at least like one other person, and probably even more fun to play with like a whole party of people, like four people at once. Yeah, I would like to play more Risk of Rain 2, with like friends and stuff. Like if someone's like, "Hey, you want to play Risk of Rain 2?" and we plan for it, then like absolutely, I'd like to play more Risk of Rain. I think it is a super super fun game to play with friends, especially if you want to kill like an hour or two. Like you can do one run that gets pretty darn far, and that's like a good hour of play. And usually like when you're done with it and like you have like a satisfying ending to it, or maybe you die in like a hilarious way or something, I'm like, that was fun. That's enough Risk of Rain for me for the day. But like, that was good. I enjoyed that. So yeah, I mean, like, I just don't really feel like I'm gonna play that game of my own volition, like solo or anything like that, because it's just like it's fun, but I feel like it's way more fun when I play it with someone else, So that's kind of where Risk of Rain 2 is at. Very worth it. I'm glad I'm played it, and I would like to play it more. I'm just not gonna go out of my way to do so, So, but yeah, like I like all the different items that I can pick up, like the orange equipment that you can, like the big one that does like a lightning strike that does tons of damage, like all the different like creative items and upgrades that like actually do mechanical things in the game instead of it just being a pure stat boost. That's cool. Like there's so many different items, so many different items, and they're all really cool, and I'm sure at some point I'll probably play more Risk of Rain. Like I said, I think it's a fantastic co-op game to just play with friends. Like if they're doing like something on their stream, or like maybe it's like a game night kind of thing, or maybe just to chill with just like one other friend, just randomly on a day, on like an afternoon or something. Yeah, Risk of Rain is great for that. Solid game. Definitely have enjoyed my time playing Risk of Rain 2. Alright, so the next game that I played for 2022 is Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. And much like Twilight Princess, this is another one of those games that I do think about quite often. Not nearly as much as Twilight Princess itself, but I do think about Superstar Saga quite a bit, because I think it's probably arguably the best Game Boy Advance game made for that handheld. I think it's arguable. I think there's a pretty good debate for that, to be honest with you. I haven't played every single Game Boy Advance game that's ever existed, obviously, but like it's a really good standout title that like it looks phenomenal. It's like actually legitimately one of like my favorite turn-based RPG games, and like I'm not someone that usually likes turn-based RPG games at all, but Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga was great back then, and even playing it today, like just kind of more for the nostalgia and just kind of progress through it, similar to how I'm doing it with Twilight Princess, it's just been great. It's just like I've just enjoyed. It's definitely a lot easier now that I know what I'm doing, but it's still fun. The music slaps. The music has never not slapped in that game. Oh boy. I have a Game Boy player attached to the bottom of my GameCube, and I have a Game Boy player disc. I've had that for like a long time, and I've even tried like in the past doing like little bits of speed runs, or try learning speedrunning stuff with Superstar Saga, because like man, is the any percent speedrun really something. That kind of ended up falling through, but like yeah, for this year it's just like, hey, alongside playing Twilight Princess, maybe I should also play Superstar Saga, since I have it right here and I can just play it, and I can play it on my big CRT TV, and have fun with that, and like have a little like nostalgia trip with it. So it's like, yeah, sure, why not? So I've just been playing it, been enjoying it. It makes me kind of want to actually play Partners in Time, but I will need a new DS to do that, and like my I haven't bought or thought about a 3DS like in a long time, because the last 3DS that I had was 3DS XL, where I like slept on it. There's a whole story about like me and 3DSs, but like I slept on it accidentally and it cracked the top of the screen, and just ever since then I haven't bothered even trying to play anything on it, unfortunately. So I'd have to buy a whole new 3DS to play just to play Partners in Time. I don't know if there's a remake of it that recently released or whatever. Like Partners in Time, I played Bowser's Inside Story. That one was kind of eh. And then Dream Team just was a snooze fest out the gate pretty quickly for me, and I'm just like, what? Like, it was such a disappointment. But like, Superstar Saga, I think still very, very much holds up. And I haven't really gotten that far, definitely not as far as I've gotten in Twilight Princess, but I've been having fun with it. It's been pretty decent. I can definitely, like, if I want to recommend any kind of, like, you know, somewhat old school RPG Game Boy Advance game, then yeah, Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga would definitely be that game. But like, it's kind of like a smaller, like I said, a smaller nostalgia factor than Twilight Princess. Not as prevalent, not as big as Twilight Princess for me, but it's there, it's fun, and just lives in my head rent free. That comes up sometimes. So yeah, no, like it's solid. I like playing. I'm enjoying playing through it again for sure. So the last game that I have been playing in 2022 is Death Stranding. You can even see the guys up there in this world in VRChat. But yeah, I have been playing Death Stranding. I haven't put that many hours into it. I just started it like not even that long ago, like pretty recently. I think like within the last month, I like actually like really started dipping my toes into it. I think I've literally only put in like 3 hours so far. But like, I have been wanting to play Death Stranding for quite some time, mostly because it's very interesting, because it's not like it's been heavily recommended or anything, or like very, very talked about. Because like, I know when it launched, people were kind of like when it was being teased and anticipated, people were like, whoa, you know, this Hideo Koji, what is he doing with this game called Death? Like, all the trailers leading up to it made it like seem like it was super, super hype. But then when the actual game came out and people played it, it's like, wait, it's just like this glorified walking simulator. And it's like, okay, I can see why a lot of people probably don't want that in a video game, but like me, someone that likes to just walk around places in VRChat just to like, you know, be immersed in the world, Death Stranding sounds kind of up my alley, to be honest with you. But it took me a while to like actually like want to start playing the game and getting into it, because, you know, again, I was like preoccupied with a whole bunch of other things. But and I don't even know like exactly how long the game will be for me. I've heard like it gets to be a bit of a grind fest, because you have to make like deliveries or whatever the hell. I haven't obviously gotten there. I haven't put in enough time to know yet. But I'm liking the world building so far. I don't mind, like, well, obviously with Hideo Kojima in any game, he makes really long cutscenes. I don't mind that at all. I like that. If anything, I like want to learn more about the world and learn more about these characters through cutscenes. So that's perfectly fine. And the actual like traversing through places on foot that I've done like thus far, like, I don't mind it. It's like, it's kind of like chill and like relaxing for me, and so I'm enjoying what I'm playing so far. Like, I look forward to more, and I look forward to see like what more the story like actually does and like what happens, because ever since I saw like the trailers that teased what was going on in Death Stranding, I'm like, I really want to figure out like what's going on in this world. What are all these things that are happening, and learn more about it. And I think even recently at the Game Awards, there was an announcement that Death Stranding 2 was happening. So like a sequel to this game. So like that's kind of even more incentive for me to like want to play more of it. So I kind of maybe want to even look into that, but I want to play more Death Stranding itself before I really know, and I hope I can finish it sometime early next year, so that I can like, you know, maybe be excited to play the sequel or something. I don't know, we'll see, but like I don't mind it being this walking simulator game. Like it's chill like that. It's like calming, you know, like, and I like that. I like doing that in VRC, so obviously I'm liking doing that in Death Stranding as well. So yeah, don't have a whole lot to say about it again because I have hardly experienced the story much at all, but like I'm enjoying it. I'm definitely enjoying it thus far. It's been making an impression on me thus far, for certain. And I've loved Hideo Kojima's work for like a while now, and to see like him do something that's not Metal Gear, and it's like its own thing, and it's just, oh man, I like, he's an artist, and I really want to like see more of what he does. So yeah, that's kind of it. I don't think I have a whole lot more to talk about. I think that's everything. Just get to the top of this hill or so. But yeah, that I believe is all the games that I have played in 2022. This is like a 4-hour long video. Damn it, I didn't want it to be so long, but I had so much to say about pretty much everything that I played this year. And yeah, I look really forward to what I'm going to be playing in 2023. A lot of the games that I played this year are probably going to be played again next year, but I also look forward to what new games that I'll be playing in 2023 for certain. I might do another video like this at the end of next year. We'll see. I don't know for sure, but I'll find out. But I've really enjoyed like just gushing and just going completely full in on the games that I played this year and what I did with all of them and what they mean to me and what my plans are. Like I've been thinking about doing this kind of thing for such a long time, and I'm really glad to, you know, finish it and do it all completely. So yeah, thank you. If you watch this entire thing, you're crazy. You must be really interested in what I have to say. Thank you so very much. Or you're like one of like my best friends, so like you know me personally. So like thank you so much for watching this entire thing and for being an awesome person. I hope you learned something about me, and I mean like I think I'll maybe do this again. I like doing like a yearly like review or like summary on like something in particular at the end of the year. So we'll probably do something at the end of 2023 as well. But yeah, those are the video games. I'm a gamer that plays a lot of games, okay? So a lot to say about the video games that I've played. Yeah, that'll be it. You all have a fantastic 2023. I'll see you next time.